Black Alpha Network. Home of Black excellence. Power to the people. Power to the people.
You said inside that there must be change or there will be nothing to change. Is this militancy?
Well, classify it whatever way you will. You know, that's, whether I agree with it or not, that's logic.
Why must there be militancy?
Why must there be confusion and destruction and oppression and slavery of one people, you know, over the other? Why must this be? Answer that, and I guess you'll have your answer to why it must be.
Peace and love, family. Black first, black only, just black. That's right. Let's let it be known, family, that this era, this generation, this time belongs to us, the certified 100. Yes, it does. And that means that we do whatever we feel like doing. We take whatever we feel like taking, and we get everything that belongs to us, and we're going to do it in style. Have always done it in style and will continue to do it all in style. But I send out a certified salute to the whole certified 100. I appreciate everybody who's been rocking with the Black Alpha Network. We're getting way bigger, we're getting way stronger and growing every second. Like I say, we building, we working, we shining, we grinding. That part. So I appreciate y'all tapping in today. Make sure you smash that like button and send this video to every real one you know. I don't care who it is. If it's your grandma and grandma certified, send it to her. If it's your grandfather and he's certified, send it to him, your auntie, your uncle, your cousins. It don't matter. The whole certified black society. Let's put in work and let's represent full time. And speaking of representing full time, y'all know it's time for that FBA roll call. Right now, where you at? Rep your city, rep your town, rep your state, wherever you from, let everybody know it's good. Talk to me. Wherever you tapping in from, go ahead and leave a comment. Me, I'm broadcasting live from the great state of Georgia. GA all day and sending them certified salutes to the whole family. Let's turn up. We stay pushing the line, we stay focused, we stay handling ours, taking care of our certified business day to day, 24/7, 365. And everybody's always got a problem with foundational black Americans. I mean, we wake up in the morning exceptional, we go to bed exceptional, and these motherfuckers go to bed hating. It's a sad, sad world. But y'all notice that we've been over here in our own FBA lane, focus on our own FBA business. We ain't worried about nobody. We ain't thinking about nobody. We ain't thinking about no tether, no op, none of that. We just handling our foundational black American business. As a matter of fact, we more focused on our money and getting to this money than any tether. We more focused on our money than any op. The only time we worried about them is if we got to G-check them if they getting in the way of our money. That's it. Trying to get to that bag, trying to get to our reparations, it may require checking an op. It may require checking the tether or flea or a fleaman or whatever the fuck. But we gonna do that shit and still go to the bank, right? That's the way we handle business. What I always say, fam, foundational black Americans, we are multitaskers, meaning we can check your ass and still get to the money. That's what we do. Been doing it forever. But if you haven't noticed lately, these motherfuckers done up the ante. They done ratcheted that shit up. Now you got motherfuckers flying in here with problems for us. You got motherfuckers hating on us, as I say, with a billion different accents, speaking a billion different languages. Half the time, I don't even know what the fuck they saying. I just know they got a problem with FBA. Like I said, if your F got 3 E's on it and your A got 4 H's, then you know you're hating on us, okay? Whenever you hear somebody say, you damn FBAs, it's probably a raggedy ass tether that done got off a plane, a boat, or a blow up life craft. FBA is said by certified black society. Now, whether they say that out their crooked ass Fleedman mouth or their crooked ass tether mouth, it don't matter, because foundational black Americans, we handle that. The same way when it come to getting reparations, we handle that. The same way when it come to being exceptional, excellent, or certified, we handle that. Be one, always get it done. And what we've got done the most in this generation, family, is lineage. We've represented this lineage to the core. And I tell people, don't get it twisted and don't get it fucked up. You're dealing with a society of people who take our lineage very serious. This little thing where you're going to disrespect our lineage, where you're going to talk down at us and you're going to try to weasel in or try to tell us what we are or tell us where we come from. Y'all know what they do. They try to make it look like we're some type of lost people. We're immigrants. We don't know where we came from. That's why every other weekend somebody's coming out trying to put an immigrant claim on us, trying to put this lost tribe. We ain't no lost tribe. Hell no. As a matter of fact, who on this planet Earth knows and understands their lineage, heritage, and culture more than us? Nobody. You can put us up against anyone in the world. Y'all know I'm always speaking about the FBA resume. It's untouchable, unbreakable, unmatched, and stronger than ever. So all these people out here trying to redefine our lineage, you can't do it. You know the only people who can define our lineage? Us. You know the only people who control our lineage? Us. You know the only people who control the narrative about certified foundational Black Americans? That is certified foundational Black Americans. Us. So everybody else, they can kick rocks that way. So this generation is being identified and defined by our lineage pride the same way it should have been a long time ago, but that's all right because we are here to save the day. And when you speak about foundational Black American lineage, you got to speak about foundational Black American reparations. Those two things are synonymous with each other. Anytime you bring up foundational Black American lineage, make sure you bring up reparations and vice versa. Because if you do not put those two together and connect them, they're going to try to weasel everybody else in. That's what's been happening. Foundational Black Americans start talking about reparations. Now everybody else is trying to either be a foundational Black American or trying to claim foundational Black American lineage. You got $5 FBAs, $2 tethers, $4 Fleedman. Everybody wants a piece of this, but they can't have none because our gatekeeping game and our G-checking game and our regulating game is A1. Mount up. So right now, you see that foundational Black Americans are keeping everything airtight, locked up. We done locked that shit up. Can't nobody come in. What we said, family, there used to be a time they would come in the house. We kicked them out. Then they used to be in the front yard. Kicked their ass out the front yard. Kicked them off the street. Ran them off the block. They can't even be in the same neighborhood as us. And eventually, we gonna run these motherfuckers out of the whole state and out of the whole country. Somebody find Stacey Abrams. Where's she at right now? Let me tell you this, fam. If nobody believes me, when I say foundational Black Americans will run your ass off the block and run your ass out the country, you go find Stacey Abrams and go ask her big snuffleupagus ass if what I'm saying is true or not. And she gonna answer you damn right, but she's gonna answer it all the way over in fucking Nigeria because we ran her out the country. You can't play with FBA. We putting coons out of business. That coon unemployment line is thick as fuck, and we're responsible for putting every last motherfucker in that row, and we're gonna continue to do it. And the way we do it, as we always say, is not giving a fuck how they feel. This ain't the your feelings generation. See, motherfuckers back in the day used to be worried about people's feelings. I don't want to upset the people of color. I don't want to upset the minorities. Can we all get along? All lives matter. Hell nah. What I say? It went from the yes we can to the hell to the no. And we are all responsible for that certified foundational Black American pride. Lineage, heritage, culture over everything. Reparations all the way. And watch, fam. They try to tie everybody into our lineage so they can tie them into our reparations. And what is the main thing they try to do by tying them into both of those? They try to tie them into Juneteenth. Yes. And today on the Black AlphaCast, where we don't give a fuck about nobody's feelings but our own. We don't give a fuck about where you came from. We don't give a fuck how you feel about FBA. That's all on the Black Alpha side. Smash that like button, share this video, and subscribe. We're going to talk about the differences between Juneteenth and K00NTeenth. Yeah, we're going to separate the certifieds from the counterfeit, the authentic from the artificial, and the real from the fake. Because you got two different versions of everything we do. You always have the true certified foundational Black American culture. That's why we say certified Black society, certified honey. And then you always have the counterfeit. The counterfeit is the version that the dominant society, the people of colors, the minorities, that's the version of blackness that they created that they can try to thrust upon us. We ain't wearing that jacket. We ain't wearing that motherfucking jacket. That jacket 2 sizes too small. We wearing extra, extra large. These motherfuckers wearing extra medium. I don't fit no extra medium. Hell no. If it's certified foundational Black American, that motherfucker gonna be quality and it's gonna be real. We don't wear no jacket that they try to put on us. So you always have the counterfeit version of everything we do that's certified. If you ever see or hear a certified foundational black American who is authentic, they're gonna always try to follow that up with somebody who is artificial. It's like the AI. Y'all be hearing these AI songs out here? These motherfuckers is trying to come up with AI foundational black Americans. Some robotic copy. Some shit that ain't real, can never step in the same place that we are in, cannot ever exist in our presence. That's what they try to do. And they've been doing this shit since slavery. When you had real brothers and sisters, they'd send in the house Negro. Back in the civil rights era, when we were talking about being independent, self-sufficient, having our own schools, our own hospitals, they were talking about, man, I want to march with Karen now and join the feminist movement. How come we can't drink out the same water faucet? I want to go to school with y'all. Y'all know what time it is. Every time there's a certified, they try to send in some type of counterfeit. They've created a whole genre. Matter of fact, AIC, artificial ignorant coons. And all they do is mimic us. And the dominant society is always putting that battery in their back. That's what they do. And y'all see the same thing all the time. Trust me, back in the civil rights era, half them people you seen out there marching, they weren't marching for black independence. They was marching so they can sit next to Karen and Ken on the bus, so they can go drink out the same water faucet, they can go swim in the same pool. Two people can do the same thing for two different reasons. You might have had one brother right here on the left, and he was marching for significant changes. He was marching for black folks to be self-sufficient to get their own. The very next brother sitting next to him, he was marching so hopefully he can get a date with Karen. It's the same thing now. When you see Black Lives Matter out there at them riots and protests, they may be out there, but they ain't out there for anything we trying to do. They out there so they can try to go get a piece of the pie and they can be integrated next to the W society. That's the same thing they trying to do with Juneteenth. Oh yeah, the Juneteenth co-op con game hustle trick bag is in full swing. Everybody around the world is trying to get their little piece of Juneteenth because they want the whole piece of black American culture because they see all that money and reparations that belongs to us. It's a whole hustle that all these motherfuckers is in on. As a matter of fact, family, they're so into it. Did you see in South Carolina, they literally have posters for Juneteenth and they got two W models? Yeah, they got Karen and Ken looking like they just came back from a fucking fentanyl party, smiling, cheesing, and grinning, talking about Juneteenth. They are openly throwing W's on Juneteenth posters so they could just weasel in like we ain't gonna see that shit. Like we ain't gonna catch that. Like certified black society ain't running this bitch. They better pull that again. Y'all know, back in the Yes We Can era, they'd have been talking about diversity and can't we all get along and all lives matter and everybody can be included. In this era, man, fuck that. It's all about us so you can run that shit out the fucking paint. And that's what brothers and sisters have been doing. We've been running that shit out the paint. Listen to this.
No, we're going to keep it in South Carolina for this verify because we are seeing backlash on social media tonight as marketing material for a Juneteenth celebration in the Carolinas is going viral. So, of course, Juneteenth marked on June 19th, celebrating the emancipation of the westernmost slaves in the United States. It took Union troops until that date in 1865 to finally reach Texas and inform folks there enslaved black people were free by executive decree. Well, this is a picture of a Juneteenth banner in Greenville, South Carolina, circulating online. It is drawing some ire, and it shows, as you can see here, a white couple on this light post banner advertising this upcoming Juneteenth celebration. Many commenters are questioning the reasoning behind the race of the models chosen for this campaign.
Fuck you mean questioning the reasoning? You see how they always gotta question some shit? They always gotta put a question mark at the end of a statement that we all know is very bold? I'll give you the goddamn answer. It's called anti-black racism. Most specific is anti-foundational black American racism. That's what it is. It's trying to co-opt what we got. And they're doing that all across the country. I mean, come on, fam. They got Karen and Ken on the Juneteenth poster. Like we wasn't gonna see that shit. I'm telling you, they are still trying to get that African American shit out their system. The dominant society is like a child that don't want to throw away their old toy. Toy broken down, old as fuck, don't work no more, and they just cannot give it up. They are emotionally attached to the African American because they created the African American. We created the foundational black American. Big goddamn difference. They are so emotionally attached to the African American because the African American would have gave them that shit. The African American would never talk back, wouldn't stand up, never stuff their chest out. We say shit with our goddamn chest. We say it loud and proud so the whole world hears it, and they cannot handle that. So they're upset because they thought they were going to throw out these models and all the other goofy ass shit that they're doing in terms of Juneteenth, and they thought we was just going to let that shit slide. They thought they was gonna slide that shit into our reparations and we was gonna let that shit slide. We ain't letting shit slide no more. We don't let nothing get past us. Ain't a goddamn thing out here. We ain't squashing the beef. No. We ain't waving the white flag. No. We waving them FBA flags and them Juneteenth flags until we get our green money. And even when it come to that, speaking of the Juneteenth flag, everybody knows what the Juneteenth colors are, and everybody knows that we have our own Juneteenth flag. And they keep trying to put the red, black, and green on our Juneteenth. They know goddamn well what our colors are. We tell them. How many times brothers and sisters had to correct them on that shit? And they like a little fucking kid. They'll do a little circle and then they'll come back and try to do this shit again. I'm gonna tell you like this. Keep on doing your little circles, your squares, your rectangles, your triangles, and come on back and keep trying to force feed us that shit. And we're gonna be right here G-checking your ass every time you show up. We ain't going nowhere. We don't get tired. Your ass wanna circle the whole goddamn block? You wanna circle the whole goddamn town and come back and try to hustle us the second time? We gonna check your ass the first all the way to the motherfucking end. We won't stop. You ain't gonna force feed the RBG colors on us. And notice how the dominant society ain't never supported the RBG flag. Never. Now when you getting on the internet, watch. On Juneteenth, you're gonna get on the internet. Google, Yahoo, every search engine, all social media is gonna be littered with the RBG colors, even though they know that ain't our shit. But they can do that all they want to. They can spend billions or trillions of dollars trying to hustle us with that shit, but they ain't gonna get no return. So I'm gonna tell it like this. Dominant society, trailer park society, tethers, tether hairline, Fleeman, Fleers, Fleeman forehead, blenders, ops, all of y'all. Go ahead and spend all the money that you done stacked up, but you better go get your refund because it's all about our flag, our colors, and our lineage. Why? Because I'm FBA and I said so. Yup. Trying to force feed us the RBG flag. Trying to put RBG colors everywhere. One minute they trying to put rainbow colors over us. The next minute it's RBG. They don't know what the hell to do. They so goddamn desperate. They better sit their ass down. 5 years ago, the RBG flag was the worst thing they ever saw. They tried to make it look like it was radical. It was too black and African. Soon as we start saying FBA, they say, oh, no, take the RBG flag. Let me put it on Google. Dominant society never want to be in the same building as the RBG flag. Now they sitting there wearing dashikis and shit. Man, desperate times call for desperate measures, and certified black society done made the whole damn world desperate. Yes, sir. When you watch Juneteenth right now, oh, it's being co-opted. Oh, trust and believe. They trying to co-opt Juneteenth the same way they've co-opted everything. If you want to know the answer, are they trying to co-opt Juneteenth, look at every single thing we've ever done. Ain't they trying to co-opt everything? Co-opting is gonna come. It's just a matter of how we handle that shit. Do we reject it? Do we regulate? Do we gatekeep? Do we boot them the fuck out? Do we run them off the block? Out the goddamn country? Is that how we handle it? Or do we say, come on in? And every time black folks let somebody comes on in, next thing you know, Juneteenth done turned into Cooneteenth. And that's why you seeing all types of fugazi shit out here in society right now when it comes to Juneteenth. So we gonna break down today on the Black AlphaCast. Oh, this gonna be a good one. Oh, lock the fuck in. Pure fire. We spitting fire today. We are going to break down every single community, and I mean every. Watch, by the end of this video, you are going to see we broke down every single community on this planet and how they all got their fingers in the foundational Black American pot and how they're all trying to eat off of Juneteenth. Oh, we're going to break it down to the T. That's how we do things. Black Alpha all day. Now, we're going to break down all of those groups and how they're trying to get in on Juneteenth, but we're also going to break down how every single one of those groups is trying to get in on our lineage and our reparations, because all that's tied together. Trust and believe. Lineage, reparations, and Juneteenth. If they can get in on Juneteenth, then they can get in on our lineage. If they can get in on our lineage, they can get in on our reparations. It's a trifecta, and we're going to connect all the dots like we always do. We're going to put everything together like we always do, every piece of the puzzle, and we're going to slam every race receipt and every spoiler on the motherfucking table, and they got no choice but to deal with it. Trust and believe, family. If we don't stop these motherfuckers from trying to co-opt this, then they're going to end up trying to co-opt everything. Problem for them is that certified black society and the certified honey ain't going for it. This ain't the old era. Hell nah. Told you. They was looking for black folks, but the wrong one showed up. And all of us who have showed up, me, you, all the brothers, sisters, kings, queens, goddess, and gods, oh, we don't go for that, so they better not play with it. So listen to all of the things that they doing. Watch how these motherfuckers are trying to slide in and understand that they trying to turn Juneteenth into Cooneteenth. Lo and behold.
We are just a few days away from Juneteenth, a very disappointing trend has started to pop up. Large companies appropriating the holiday for financial reasons. Now, here's just an example of some of the things that have been done, like Walmart apologizing after it introduced a Juneteenth celebration ice cream. DC's Something in the Water Festival, which is going on right now, by the way, supposed to be a Juneteenth celebration, but as ticket prices so high, most people couldn't even afford it. And then you have Snapchat releasing a filter for Juneteenth that would put chains around a person's face, and the only way to break them was by smiling. That was a real thing, among many others.
Family, did y'all hear that? Did y'all hear that? We got Juneteenth ice cream. Y'all remember that shit? You got the Democrats and all these motherfuckers putting together festivals all over the world. We're going to talk about that shit here in a minute. And Snapchat put together an app that had shackles on it. These motherfuckers ain't even trying to hide the racism. They just trying to put that shit all out in the open. You know how they be trying to be real slick and they'll slide in something real fast just so you don't catch it, but y'all know we be on get. Once again, I'm telling y'all, man, they so used to dealing with black folks that would miss everything. You could just say, hey, Kuta, how you doing today, Kuta Kente? Man, nice spear you got over there. You chucking spears today, Kuta? And black folks be like, yeah, I had a spear today, this morning. And missed the whole fucking point. They can't get none of that shit off on us. That's why they desperate. All that shit right there is desperate. They're always going to give you some type of slight, backhanded, undermining compliment. But in reality, that shit is dripping in anti-foundational black American racism. Yes. So that's what they doing right there. And if you want to know what co-opting looks like, just look what they doing. Juneteenth ice cream in a fucking shackle app. Get the fuck out of here. Ain't nobody going for that shit nowadays. Y'all dealing with certified black society. I told y'all, they've been having a real motherfucking culture shock trying to get all that African Americans out their system and realize they dealing with certified black folk. They can't handle that shit. Certified black society, the certified honey, me, you, all of us, our whole family, is something that they cannot handle. They trying to hold on to the past so they can deny the future. But they ain't got no choice because we here whether they like it or not. Oh yeah, so they could miss us with that one. Oh hell no, that shit ain't gonna work. And what brothers and sisters do? Brothers and sisters got that shit off the shelf ASAP. We shame the fuck out of them. Can we bring shaming back? Can we? Can we call a motherfucker out if they do some sly, slick, slimy shit? That's what we do. I don't know about the rest of the world that's trying to cancel folks. You hurt my feelings. You need to go away. Man, fuck that. Certified Black Society, we say whatever, whenever. We don't give a damn. If your feelings get hurt, gone. Let me tell you something. You can't cancel foundational black Americans. I'm going to tell you right motherfucking now. Go ahead and try. And I guarantee your ass ends up canceled. That's how the fucking go. You can't cancel the realest people on the block. And we are and have always been the realest people on the block. We are undeportable and we are non-cancelable. So keep trying, motherfucker, and we gonna keep on riding. Now, you notice how that's all the corporations and all the businesses trying to get in on Juneteenth, okay? Because remember, there's Juneteenth and then there's Juneteenth. Juneteenth is certified, Juneteenth is counterfeit. So you see them trying to get a couple dollars off of our movement. And that's what it's always been. Trust me, they never want us removed from slave labor. And if they can't get us to go out in them fields and go pick some fucking cottons and some sugar canes, and I got a story about sugar cane, family, in about 30 minutes to an hour, we gonna break that shit down. Trust me, I got a crazy story and y'all gonna say, what the fuck? Yes, and I got receipts for it too. But we gonna talk about sugar cane later and some of these folks in the diaspora and how they're trying to use sugar cane to get in on Juneteenth. I'm not lying. Now, you see the corporations trying to get in on it. You see them trying to put out the ice cream and the apps and all these other things. You see that Juneteenth has become nothing but a day off. It's a day off for the dominant society. Trust me. These motherfuckers ain't never gave a damn about any black holiday. They the ones saying, how come black folks got BET? What about white ET? Y'all know, how long was they saying that shit to us? Now mind you, the old BET, now the BET today is WET, but that's a whole nother story. They was telling black folks, why did we get a BET? Why did we get Black History Month? Y'all remember Morgan Freeman? I think we should just quit talking about it. If we just quit talking about racism, it'll go away. Y'all know his masters put that battery in his back. But that's how a lot of these suckers was running around here saying it. So if the dominant society did not want us to even have black entertainment television, you know they don't want us to have Juneteenth. Hell no, because that acknowledges too much of the truth. The same time that they're trying to have critical race theory and take away black history in the school books, why you think they want us to have Juneteenth on top of that? Black folks can't even go to work and ask for a plate of soul food. They be trying to cancel your ass for asking for some fried chicken. Say you want some fucking collard greens and they'll be like, you're racist, Marquise. Oh, how dare you say that? They don't want us to have shit. So you know they don't want us to have Juneteenth or anything that is certified. When foundational black Americans have a reparations rally, they don't want that. When foundational black Americans have an expose, they don't want that. They never want us to do anything that is created and crafted by us, because now that may empower us. And black empowerment is the thing they're always trying to keep away from us. And what empowers us more than our lineage and our history? Once we see the line of soldiers that we come from, the certified brothers and sisters, the ancestors, and we represent that and we uplift it, oh, that may empower us. So they got two choices. They either let us celebrate our own holidays, or they co-opt them and turn Juneteenth into Cooneteenth. I'm telling y'all, fam, you're going to see a bunch of counterfeit coons and a bunch of synthetic Sambos. And if they cannot hit you with the real, they going to slide in a synthetic Sambo, Black Lives Matter, NAACP, Barack Obama, 1.0 and 2.0, James Clyburn, Marcus Lemoyce Hill, Michael Erica Dyson, Broken Buck Kari Sellers, you name it. But this is the same cast of characters that they always slide in to dilute what we do. So I always say, family, if they cannot stop it, they try to dilute it. And the diluting process used to always work because black folks was down for it. They was always like, come on in, dilute our celebrations, dilute our holidays, dilute our leaders. It's okay. Let's take Martin Luther King and turn him into White Luther King. Let's take the Black Panther Party and turn them into the Rainbow Panther Party. Let's take Black History Month and turn it into Everybody History Month. That's what they always do. They try to dilute what we got going. Y'all see them shirts that they got coming out now with Tupac and they all with the rainbow flag on it? Y'all be seeing that shit out there? Now y'all know goddamn well, family. Y'all know Tupac Amaru Shakur would have never went for none of that. But guess what? The person who owns Tupac's estate ain't a Shakur. It ain't a black person either. It's a W. Yes, that's who owns the Shakur estate. So that's why you see all types of silly shit. It is a W man who controls Tupac's estate. Look it up right now and you will see it. Tupac used to have a tattoo that said Thug Life. Now they got pictures with him saying Hug Life. Tupac used to say he was an outlaw. Now he said he an in-law. Tupac used to have a white bandana on. Now that motherfucker's a tie-dye bandana. They selling that shit at every goddamn Skittle parade, floating around all across the country. That's what they do though, family. They dilute our history, they dilute our leaders, and now if you watch, they try to dilute our holidays. That goes from Juneteenth and how they're trying to turn it into Cooneteenth. Look at the people responsible. Look at all the corporations and everybody, and we going down one by one. The next motherfucker that we gonna G-check is the Democratic Party, because typically when you see some shit where somebody's trying to get over on us, trying to hustle us, con us, trick bag us, you gonna see that big ass Democratic sticker right there in the middle. And every single Democratic shield is gonna be responsible. Malcolm X told us, some come with a bite and a smile, some come with a bite and a growl. And let me say this is what Black Alpha saying. Coming with a bite and a growl nowadays ain't gonna work too motherfucking good for you. You gonna fuck around and you gonna find out that shit ain't the way. Trust and believe. Back in the day, you could come with a growl because black folks was scared. They was hiding under fucking tables. They was ducking and dodging, sticking their head in the sand, trying to get away. You come on that tough guy shit nowadays, and you gonna meet the pull up summer, pull up winter, pull up spring, pull up fall, pull up weekday, weekend, afternoon, evening, morning, breakfast, dawn, lunch, dinner, snack. It don't fucking matter. You gonna catch wreck. So all that biting the growl shit, it don't work. But guess what? The bite and the smile don't work either, because we not falling for all the little cheap ass tricks that they do. We know who's trying to hustle us and we running their ass off the block. We know who's trying to con us and we running their ass out the paint. We know who's trying to get off on us and we running their ass out the country. And when you look, you always see the same vote blue no matter who, folks.
Happy Juneteenth, everyone. One of the great honors I've had as president was to sign the bill making Juneteenth a national holiday for the first new federal holiday since Martin Luther King Day nearly 4 decades ago. And it matters. It mattered to me and it matters to the country. Juneteenth marks both the long, hard night of slavery and subjugation and the promise of a brighter morning to come. A day of profound weight and power that reminds us of the extraordinary capacity to heal and hope and emerge from the most painful moments into a better version of ourselves. You know, great nations they just don't ignore the most painful moments in their history. They embrace them to heal and grow stronger. We're a great nation, but it's simply not enough to commemorate Juneteenth. For emancipation did not mark the end of American work to deliver the promise of equality. It only marked the beginning. To honor the true meaning of Juneteenth, we must never rest until we deliver the promise of America to all Americans. All Americans. That's what Kamala and I and our administration are committed to do.
All right. Enough fucking dinosaur. Listen, family, first off. Did y'all hear how that motherfucker struggled to get through that? Can somebody put that man in a nursing home? I mean, I know Joe Biden is 428 years old, and he'll be 429 next month. We understand that, okay? We understand that this man's tripping and falling when he's standing still. How the hell do you fall standing still? I seen Joe Biden fall standing still, and I seen him fall upstairs. He fell up the stairs 3 times on the same trip. Somebody tell me how the fuck that works. So we understand that Joe Biden is ancient as fuck, and he was around during Juneteenth. He was around during the Emancipation Proclamation, the Civil War, the Revolutionary War. He knows George Washington personally, Benjamin Franklin, Thomas Edison. He know all of them. Those are all his classmates. He went to high school with them. We all understand that, okay? But did you notice how he slid in all Americans? Did you? Once again, now this is the Democratic con with Juneteenth.
Meaning of Juneteenth, we must never rest until we deliver the promise of America to all Americans. All Americans. All Americans. All Americans. That's what Kamala and I and our administration are committed to do.
They use Juneteenth to provide tangibles for all of the people of color. Trust me, that's who he's talking about. He's talking about all of those Ukrainians that he gives billions of dollars to every other week. He's talking about those people of color that he's putting in Airbnbs and providing them $400,000 apiece because they were separated at the border by Trump. He's talking about the 11 million undocumented illegals that they want to bring into the country in the next 2 years. That's who he's talking about. Have y'all ever seen the Democratic Party say something about foundational Black Americans and keep it just on foundational Black Americans? Or is it always someone else coming in? Is it always someone else being attached? Someone else being connected? Now, have y'all ever heard us attached to any of these other people's laws? When he wrote that hate crime protection on his first day for that other community, did he say this also includes foundational Black Americans too? Did he say all Americans? When he gave all those Ukrainians the billions of dollars that we were just referencing, did he say that also goes for foundational Black Americans? He gave them billions, damn near trillions of dollars, and then give foundational Black Americans $150 bill out that shit. Every single law that is meant for us goes to everybody else, but we don't never get an iota of laws that are meant for them. And he'll sit there and talk about our holiday, Juneteenth. And then he'll go down all this history. Black folks, historic, slavery, pain, suffering, all Americans. All Americans don't even fit into that goddamn statement. What the fuck does all Americans have to do with something that applies to only foundational Black Americans? You don't talk about the Ukrainian war and then start bringing us up. You don't start talking about immigration in Mexico and then bring us up. You're connecting people that weren't even here when Juneteenth was first created. As a matter of fact, by the time Juneteenth even occurred, foundational Black Americans had already been in this land for thousands of years. Man, get the fuck out of here. Man, you better try that shit on these Democratic shields, on these synthetic Sambos, and on these counterfeit coons, because certified Black society ain't going for none of that shit. Dinosaur, man. And by the way, I got money. Let me take my money and we could all put our money together so we can put this motherfucker in a nursing home. Okay? Because when you sit there and you talk about who ain't Black and it's Juneteenth, this motherfucker was going slow reading off a teleprompter. God damn. Anyway, not to mention they probably had to chop the video and edit the shit because he had to take a nap during the goddamn presentation. But that's another topic for another day and another story. And I'm sure we will address that. And when we do, we'll bring a certified style. But until then, isn't this the same Joe Biden? Now, mind you, by the way, fam, before I go there, hold up, retract, let me rewind. Didn't y'all just hear me say whenever they're trying to calm us down and strip our word class, they always overemphasize the terms heal? He said heal like 13 fucking times in that 1 minute statement. I ain't worried about healing, okay? I'm perfectly fucking good. This little thing that foundational Black Americans have to heal for the next 800 fucking years, hell to the no. And if you want us to heal so bad, how about you heal me with some goddamn money? All right, cut us some reparations checks and we'll all heal right now this fucking second. We'll throw a big ass parade and a big ass concert that says we one big healed Negro. All right, all of us are healed right now. You cut us some fucking money. When it comes to the Ukrainians, whenever they're in some type of issue, you cut them a check so they can heal. When it comes to immigration and all them folks is trying to flee their homelands for a better life, you cut them some checks so they can heal. Every single fucking group across this planet Earth that done stubbed their goddamn toe, You cut them some money so they can heal. But when it comes to foundational black Americans, it's word salad. You just talking. Heal as a nation. We, all people. They always try to over-emotionalize what we're doing. Unfortunately for them, this is not the emotion era. This is the run me my motherfucking money era. And until then, we don't give a shit. Keep your speeches. Y'all fed black folks that same fucking speech for 60 years. And black folks said, we do need to heal now. We's hurt. Let's make a national hymn. Y'all remember? When Clyburn was trying to say, I didn't give y'all reparations, but I gave y'all a national hymn. Fuck you and your hymn. Fuck him, her, and your hymn, motherfucker. Give me my money. That's the way we get down. Run the tangibles. Reparations or else. That's how we do things. Now, the same Joe Biden that sits there and acts like Juneteenth as some fucking law is some big deal for us, I don't give a shit. To be honest with you, Juneteenth was better when only we acknowledged it. Juneteenth was better when it was underground. Name me one thing that foundational black society has ever done that's been accepted by the mainstream and it didn't lose its ways. Nothing. Anytime they try to take something that we use and it's personal and they make it national, oh, it goes way out the way. When black Americans used to celebrate Martin Luther King Day for ourselves, it was good. Soon as they got a hold of Martin Luther King Day, you got a Martin Luther King Boulevard, Avenue, a Martin Luther King Bridge, and half the time, them are the worst places in town. Worst places in town. And they could always say, we gave y'all Martin Luther King Bridge. Stop it. That's how Martin Luther King became our foundational black American legend. And then all of a sudden he turned into some type of weapon they would use against us. They always weaponize things that they make national. So when black folks say, we want to be acknowledged, we want Juneteenth to be acknowledged by the federal government, I never want the federal government to give me shit other than the money they owe me. Let me say that twice, 2 times from the Black Alpha Network. I don't want the federal government to acknowledge any motherfucking thing we do other than reparations. You want to acknowledge me? Acknowledge them paychecks. Then we can talk. In terms of my holidays or my heroes or my legends or things that we've accomplished, oh, we good. We already know. Why the fuck I need you to acknowledge some shit that I already know? We are not out here trying to be acknowledged. If you still need the dominant society to pat you on the head or tap you on the ass and say, well, you know, black folks, you's been a good little boy. You been a good little girl. Here's a dog bone for you. That's what they be doing. That's that butter biscuit mentality. That I'll do anything for a butter biscuit, boss. I'll sell out the whole goddamn plantation. I'll ruin every single revolt as long as you give me a dried out, crusted ass butter biscuit. That's what they doing. They still looking for acknowledgement. That goes back to the counterfeits and the certifies, the artificial and the authentic. They still want that pat on the head. Yes, that's what they do. That's the Democratic Party, Joe Biden, all of them. They out here throwing black folks dog bones like fucking house pets. And as a matter of fact, like I was saying, before I retracted and rewound, now let's speed up and get to the receipt. Joe Biden has done more for the animal community than he's ever done for the black community. Literally, I'm not being hyperbolic. I ain't reaching. I ain't making shit up. Certified Black Society, we speak the truth. Certified Black Society, we provide receipts. It's like going to the store. You gonna make your purchase, they give you a receipt. Same with us. Motherfuckers say some bullshit, we provide a receipt for it. These other motherfuckers gotta reach, twist, turn, pull any lie out the sky, anything they can do. We don't have to do that. We simply see it, and then we call that shit out. Now y'all tell me right now, y'all be the judge. Tell me, is this better for black folk, or is this better for animals? Joe Biden, his track record, his agenda, this ain't nothing we making up. This is what he's done on paper. And I want you to Google it if you do not believe me. Listen to what he's done for black folks and animals. Now, what he's done for black folks, 1994 crime bill, we'll stop right there. Now listen to what he's done for animals. The big... shit, I can't even say this without laughing. Okay. Boy, that's cold. All right. The Big Cat Public Safety Act. He signed that December 21st, 2022. Moving on. The Shark Fin Sales Elimination Act. That was also signed in December of 2022. So family, that means Finding Nemo done got more protections from Joe Biden than black folks. I ain't lying. Look it up. There's more. He also has record-breaking funding for the Horse Protection Act. Okay, listen, you hear that word, right? Funding? How much record-breaking funding has he gave to foundational black Americans? Nothing. As a matter of fact, the only funding he's ever done for us is mass incarceration. So family, not only is that Finding Nemo, now it's Mr. Ed. So Mr. Ed and Finding Nemo have gotten more protections and funding from Joe Biden and the Democratic Party than any black person in America. Moving on. And this one, family, I am not lying. I'm telling you, y'all know, y'all can look it up, you will see this. Joe Biden co-authored a bill, the Truth in Tuna Fish Labeling Act. Yes, it was an amendment for dolphin protection. And he did it by funding the International Tuna Fishing Convention. Family, I ain't fucking lying. I ain't lying. Look it up right now. Yes, so that is a big cat, a shark's tail, Mr. Ed the horse, and Finding Nemo. So that motherfucker didn't only just find Nemo, he found Nemo and cut him a check. But black folks is out here getting Juneteenth. Oh, matter of fact, shit, let me not leave this one out. In the 110th Congress, Joe Biden co-sponsored the Pet Safety and Protection Act to prohibit the use and research of dogs and cats. I ain't lying. Family, all we can do is sit here and call this shit out. All we can do is sit here and expose the shit. But when all the dust settles and the smoke clears, you see once again, black folks was out here chasing butter biscuits and Finding Nemo was getting reparations. Fuck that. Now, mind you, ain't this the same Joe Biden that's sitting there talking about, I was the first president to acknowledge Juneteenth? Isn't this the same Joe Biden who just a few years ago said this about black folks?
More questions.
You got more questions, but I tell you, if you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, then you ain't black.
It don't have nothing to do with Trump. It has to do with the...
Y'all heard that. You ain't have more questions to ask, but you ain't figure out Trump, you ain't black. That motherfucking part right there. So it's always the same Democratic shills and the Democratic Party behind all of this. Oh, and you know you can't just call out one Democrat and not call them all out. No, you're going to call out one Democrat, you got to call out all the Democrats. You know how Joe Biden would sit there and say how Juneteenth was a great thing and he signed it and they trying to make him look like a civil rights hero, and then he'll turn around and say you ain't black? Don't forget, right next to him was a lady who said this.
So by default, it affects black families, but there's not a particular policy for African Americans that you would explore. But no, if
oh yeah, y'all know how to go there, family.
The reality
oh yeah,
of who will benefit from certain policies, when you take into account that they're not starting at the same place and they're not starting on equal footing, it will directly benefit.
She fumbling.
Black children.
She fumbling. She's stumbling all over.
Because the disparities are so significant. So if we focus on the specific issues that have resulted in the greatest disparities, and we understand that that's part of why we're doing it. Listen, the reality also is this. Any policy that will benefit black people will benefit all of society. Let's be clear about that. Let's really be clear.
Now she getting mad.
So I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to do something that's only going to benefit black people. No, because whatever benefits that black family will benefit that community and society as a whole and the country.
Okay, now that's how she talks when she's talking about real, actual tangibles for foundational black Americans. Things that can be touched, things that can be seen, things that can be felt. When it's real, oh, she get mad. When it's real, she get irritated. No, I ain't gonna do nothing. But listen to how she talks when she starts speaking about a fake ass symbol like signing Juneteenth off as a holiday. The energy get real different.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. So throughout history, Juneteenth has been known by many names. Jubilee Day, Freedom Day, Liberation Day, Emancipation Day, and today, a national holiday.
Listen to her. Listen to her doing all that goddamn shinning and grinning. That little goddamn hyena laugh. That right there, family, is your typical Demo-rat party. When it comes to something tangible, oh, they get angry. You ain't black. No, I ain't doing shit for y'all. When it comes to a symbol or a gesture or some made up bullshit, then all of a sudden, here come the laugh, here come the claps, here come the goddamn parade. We ain't going for that. We continue to put pressure on them because we are the first era to say, fuck your symbols, fuck your gestures, run my money. And if it ain't about the money, then it ain't about us. G-check. I don't know about no other generation. I can't speak on the past. I can't speak on previous people. But what I will tell you is that us right here today, look at your clock, look at your phone, look at your watch, whatever you use to tell the time, go ahead and write this down and lock this in. This generation, all of us in this moment, we are the first ones to know that a symbolic victory ain't shit but a symbolic con game. So if you're chasing after that, all you doing is running in place, and we ain't running in place. We going straight to the bank. Yes, sir. And you know, it wouldn't be a Democratic co-op without the Democratic Party throwing us a big ass concert for Juneteenth. Cause y'all know how they think. They think it wouldn't be a party with black folks if you wasn't singing and dancing. Y'all knows they like to do all that dancing and stuff. Take their minds away from everything. So now they throwing a big ass Juneteenth concert. They got Jennifer Hudson, Method Man, all these motherfuckers pulling up. Listen.
Well, Chicago's own Jennifer Hudson will be among the headliners in a national Juneteenth concert on the White House lawn. It's happening next Tuesday. In 2021, President Biden signed bipartisan legislation making Juneteenth the newest federal holiday. It commemorates the emancipation of enslaved African Americans. The White House says on Juneteenth, Americans can feel the power of the day, learn from our history, celebrate our progress, and engage in the work that continues.
Y'all heard that? Celebrate our progress and engage in the work that continues. That's funny because every time the black grassroots is out here trying to engage in the work, they try to stop us. They throw up every hurdle and blockade. So y'all know it ain't about no goddamn progress. And you know it ain't about no we done came a long way. That's just another co-op trick bag from the Democratic Party, pulling out all the entertainers who ain't leaders, pulling out all the entertainers and trying to run the same con games of yesterday, only to find out today that that shit don't work anymore, all because of us. That's the way we handle it. So ain't nobody gonna be on that shit right now. And remember, fam, every single time they acknowledge one of our holidays or acknowledge one of our leaders, it only works for them. You notice that? It ain't ever about current supremacy. Martin Luther King Day is not about current supremacy. It's about supremacy went away. Black History Month is not about current supremacy. It's about supremacy went away. When Barack Obama got elected, it was about supremacy packed its bags last night and went away. As a matter of fact, every single time a Democrat gets elected, they hit us with the supremacy went away. Y'all notice that? When Bill Clinton got elected, supremacy went away. When Barack Obama got elected, supremacy went away. When Joe Biden got elected, supremacy went away. But every time a Republican gets elected, they say how supremacy's returned. George Bush got elected, supremacy was here. George W. Bush got elected, supremacy is here. Donald Trump got elected, y'all know that. They made it look like there was gonna be slave auctions the next day because the dominant society only plays tick for tack with each other. And they only acknowledge supremacy when they can dump it on a Republican. You're bad, no, you're bad, you did it, no, you did it. And all of these Democratic shields always gotta pick a side because, you know, they can't fathom a world where there are no heroes in the W society, there's only villains. That's the problem that they have. So every single time we have a holiday, it only is there to serve the notion, the myth, and the misnomer that racism went away. There's not one thing that America celebrates that black people do that doesn't turn into a how far we've come, y'all black folks need to calm down. Every holiday. Now notice, they don't do that with these other groups. You don't ever hear anybody talking about Cinco de Mayo and speaking on how things have gotten better and we've healed as a nation, or this is for all Americans. You don't see that. St. Patrick's Day, they don't say, well, you know, it's gotten so much better now for all Americans. Only when it comes to black folks, it turns into the, we've all come so far and let's celebrate progress. That's the only thing. So our holidays and them acknowledging us, they only do that to serve their goddamn selves. It has nothing to do with black folks. It just turns into a big ass celebration on how black folks need to calm down because Rosa Parks stood up on the bus. That's all this shit turns into. And that's what they're doing. That's why they created K00NTeenth opposed to Juneteenth. And let me say this, and this is what we all feel, man, but y'all know Black Alpha, I can't keep things on the inside. I ain't got no filter, and if I did, it was broke a long time ago. Let me say what we all been thinking, because I love saying what everybody wants to say, but a lot of folks don't really want to speak it. Well, I'm gonna speak it for the whole family, because I know y'all agree. Isn't it better just to keep things in-house? Isn't it better just to celebrate your own things? Hold your own family down? Keep everything aside of this foundational Black American compound? Isn't it better when we take all of our accomplishments and our achievements and we do for ourselves? Why do we always got to go to somebody else and have them make it a law and sign it off for the whole world? If you already know how great you are, you don't need a holiday. If you already know how exceptional you are, you don't need a celebration. And if you already know how excellent you are, you don't need anybody else to come join in. I was absolutely fine when foundational Black Americans were the only people who knew about Juneteenth. Because soon as that pen hit the paper, it turned into an All Lives Matter, a POC, a Tetherteenth, where everybody across the world just came in to eat off our plate. As a matter of fact, making foundational Black American accomplishments laws is basically just us opening our refrigerator for the whole world to come and eat. And y'all know we've been stopping that in this generation. We've been stopping that with reparations and with tangibles. We've been keeping everything airtight. So the very fact that they do these things, that's just another little back way where they can come in through the window, the attic, or the basement and say, Black folks is at the front door not letting us in. Let's try to sneak into the house. And if we cannot sneak into the house, we're going to try to break into the house. Let's keep everything that we do right here. We're going to have a certified Black Society holiday. How about only certified Black Society people are there? We had a Foundational Black American Expo, right? And it was all about foundational Black Americans. We had a reparations rally for foundational Black Americans, and we were the only people there. It's always better when we rock by our goddamn self, we get it in by our goddamn self, and we make it happen by our goddamn selves. Because guess what, family? Everything we've ever done, we've done by who? We've done by our goddamn selves. Why change it? So that's where we at with the whole situation, and that's where we're at with the whole scenario, and that's the way we're going to keep it. They can try to do Juneteenth, they can try to co-opt, but trust and believe, the G-check is way too strong. The regulating is way too powerful. They can make Juneteenth ice cream and soda and stickers and popsicles. They can do whatever the fuck they want to do. But at the end of the day, if it ain't got that FBA, that certified on it, you know what time it is. As a matter of fact, let's talk about the way that they're trying to Africanize our culture. Yep, we going there. Y'all knew it was coming. Y'all knew I was going to get to it. Oh yeah, we're going to pack them up. We're going to pack them up. That's what we do on this side. They try to Africanize every last thing we do. Y'all know why? It's because that's the only way that they can get in on our reparations. What I told you. If they can co-opt Juneteenth, they can co-opt the lineage. If they co-opt the lineage, they can co-opt reparations. Everything is about everyone trying to get included in our reparations package. That's why we've been on game and airtight, not allowing it to happen. So you see them trying to Africanize our culture. And do you notice that they've only tried to Africanize our culture when we started representing our culture right here in America? See, back in the old days when Black folks were saying, we're not American, what has America ever done for the Black man? The Black man has been suffering in this country for 500 years and we are not really Black folks. Y'all remember that shit, right? The whole we not really Black, we not really Americans, we have no stake in this country. There's been a mentality shift over the last 10 to 15 years, in particular, the last 5. And it's been led by the new Black media and the Black grassroots, which means all of y'all, family. Remember, the Black grassroots is all of us. Also remember that the new Black media is all of you as well. The new Black media is not just people with platforms, all right? Not just people with shows. The new Black media is all of us. Why? Because we all share information. We get our information from each other. Y'all know I always say, we all do a little, we all do a lot. Each one teach one. Trust and believe. Everybody who is in the new Black media and everybody who supports the new Black media, you are the new Black media as a whole. And we all represent the Black grassroots. So we are the ones responsible for being thought leaders and pillars and changing that mentality. Getting rid of all that old Negro shit where everybody can come on in, everybody's included, and we just gonna fall for the gambit. No, this era is on game, airtight, on point, and that's because we've been thinking, working, and grinding together. Yes, so we've been stopping all of that Africanizing of culture because we've been representing our own culture right here in these 50 states, and I don't care where you from. I don't care. East Coast, West Coast, down south, up north, Midwest, anything in between. When we do our FBA roll call on every episode of the Black AlphaCast, that's what Juneteenth is about. None of these other places. I don't give a damn what tether field you come from, what Freedman tribe. I don't give a damn what side of the earth, what continent you come from. If you are not a certified foundational Black American, then Juneteenth is nothing about you. All you can do is watch and observe. That's it. This little shit where you can come on in and you can kick us out the motherfucking house. You can sit on our goddamn couch. You can stomp your dirty ass feet on our carpet. Nope. You ain't opening the refrigerator. Nope. You ain't taking nothing that we do and putting your name on it. You ain't taking nothing that we do and putting your flag on it, putting your colors on it, putting your homeland on it. No, we are foundational Black Americans, and we have our own Juneteenth flag, and we have our own Juneteenth colors, as well as our own FBA flag. And that shit will be respected because we know you cannot check it. But watch how they do, family, and watch how the dominant society roots that shit right on. All right, you got to understand what I'm always saying. You have the W society and all they little minions, all they little Crayolas, and they all work in conjunction to try to stop foundational Black American progress because they know they cannot do it alone. Hell, they can't do it when they together. So that's why they so desperate. But watch how they'll talk about foundational Black American heritage, foundational Black American culture, foundational Black American roots, slavery, plantation, ancestors. But let's not talk to a foundational Black American right now. Let's talk to this African man so he can tell you all about Juneteenth.
Less than 2 weeks until Juneteenth, the holiday commemorating June 19th of 1865, when Union Army soldiers arrived in Galveston, Texas with the news all slaves were free. This was more than 2 years after the Emancipation Proclamation.
So Milwaukee will hold its 52nd Juneteenth festival on that day. And Julia Fellow is introducing us now to a vendor from West Africa who plans to be there for the very first time.
These beats and incredible art.
Listen to that, family. It already started off with some African shit. Him hitting the fucking drums and doing the shakes. That ain't got nothing to do with foundational Black American culture. This guy has a shirt on that says Ghana. So you already see they're talking about a foundational Black American holiday, and they're already putting an African immigrant in the middle. Proceed.
Aren't the only ways Kojo Owusu plans to nab your attention on June.
Whoa, hold on, whoa. God damn it. I ain't clowning y'all. But Kojo Owusu, where in the 50 states of foundational Black America is there somebody named Kojo Owusu that has direct lineage ties to Juneteenth? I'm just saying.
These beats and incredible art aren't the only ways Kojo Owusu plans to nab your attention on Juneteenth. He is hard at work making intricate jewelry. He learned how to make on the streets of Ghana to care for his siblings after his parents died.
I was like 11 or 12 on the streets of Cape Coast.
He says he sold jewelry next to a slave castle that was built hundreds of years ago. These were fortifications for enslaved victims until ships came to forcibly migrate people to other countries.
The castle was then used as for tourist attraction.
Yeah.
So a lot of tourists comes there.
People from your country
Yeah.
left and never returned.
Mm-hmm.
So what does Juneteenth mean to you?
People getting to know their roots.
He is happy to share the...
Stop. Hell no. Get the fuck out of here. He's talking about a slave port in Africa. Not anything to do with America. Not anything to do with foundational Black Americans. He's talking about selling cheap ass jewelry that looks like a bunch of fucking marbles linked together with a piece of yarn. Okay, the shit they try to sell us with fake gold watches and fake necklaces. He's talking about selling that shit in Africa. And then you see that his W supremacist chaperone. Notice that all of these articles and all of these news segments that we see, they always have someone from the dominant society who's playing handler. Y'all remember the Tennessee Three? And you seen those two clowns and they were always being accompanied by that big bird ass lady? Y'all remember that shit? That's what you see with all of these news segments. The dominant society, they always help out their tethers and they always help out their minions. So that Karen, she's sitting there coaching him right along. Isn't this about Africa? Tell us more about your homeland. This has nothing to do with Black people in America, does it, Mr. Fufu? Tell us about your cheap jewelry. Tell us about your Uncle Joe loft. I want to hear the whole story. You can literally hear her trying to Africanize Juneteenth. And then she asks him straight up. She says, what does Juneteenth mean to you? And here's my answer. Who gives a fuck what it means to him? It ain't about what it means to him. It's about what it is to foundational Black Americans. It ain't got nothing to do with him. When the fuck can you sit there and say what someone else's holiday means to you? How can you sit there and define what someone else's lineage, heritage, and culture has went through? You cannot do that. That's impossible. That's incapable. You can't. I can't sit here right now and say, I feel that someone else's holiday really means this to me. That's some, I'm a tether and I say so. And that was handed to him by I'm a W and I say so. So you already see the twos right there. You see the Karen, you see the foo-foo, and they're trying to Africanize Juneteenth and put a whole twist on it and a spin on it, giving us a historical breakdown about Juneteenth, but giving it to us in a place where Juneteenth never took place. Y'all tell me where the fuck they do that at.
Intricacies of the beads in the jewelry he makes that were once used by former chiefs to identify people who were captured by tribe.
When the Europeans were...
Tribe? We ain't got tribes here in America. They're talking about Africa. They're giving an African history lesson, and they're trying to say it's Juneteenth. We say that there's Juneteenth and Coonteenth. Family, this is Coonteenth. This is your same bullshit ass Juneteenth where they're taking our history and they're putting an African spin on it. This ain't no different than Nancy Pelosi putting on a dashiki and kneeling like Colin Kaepernick. That's all the fuck this is. They're giving us an African history lesson and saying it's about foundational black Americans. When those are two different continents, two different countries, two different lineages, two different cultures, two different people. Ain't said the word American one time. I'll be damned.
So we're like trying to do, our chiefs were using some of these for...
To identify
who they are. Sankofa. Sankofa means returning back to your roots. No matter where you go, you still go back home.
Boom. Check that out, family. Did y'all hear that right there? Did y'all hear that? He said, going back to your roots. No matter who you are, you got to go back home. You know they was gonna slide in some, y'all go back to Africa. Because that's the point of the whole goddamn segment. That's the whole point of this Africanizing of our culture. It's basically saying, y'all foundational black Americans have gotten too proud, y'all foundational black Americans have gotten too powerful, and y'all foundational black Americans ain't taking no shit anymore. We gotta get them back to Africa. That's it. That's the reason why Roland Martin will have a whole segment talking about Africa ain't bad for FBAs. Y'all need to go back to Africa. That same shit. The only reason they do that is because they understand they cannot control us no more. The African's American, gone. The person of color, gone. Minority, gone. Black and brown never existed. We've gotten rid of every single fake label that they put on us and we named ourselves. Once you identify and label yourself, you understand there's empowerment in your own. You don't have to go looking anymore. You don't have to go back to the motherland. We ain't got to go back 2,000 years to see a king and queen in Egypt. Family, if I want to see a black queen, I have one right here in my house. My wife. I come from a black queen. My mother. And the one thing both of them have in common is that they not from Africa. They're from right here in the United States of America. Moral of the story is that there's brothers and sisters, kings, queens, goddess, and gods, and they're from the United States, the country that we built. Ain't gotta hop in no time machine, ain't gotta go in the past to see it. And that's what they realize that they cannot handle and they cannot control because they spent so many years trying to get us to think that we're not kings and queens. But you know what makes them mad above all? You know what really pisses them off the most, family? They don't mind if you think that you a king and queen from Africa. Oh no, hell no. They don't give a fuck about that. What pisses them off the most, what scares them the most is when you say, I'm an American black king and queen. That's what scares them. Because now we got the trifecta. Race, lineage, culture, all in one. So yeah, we seen exactly what that was all about. They gave us an African history lesson about Juneteenth from America, and they got us a guy from Ghana to tell us about Juneteenth from America. And then at the end, they try to slip in, go back to your roots, black folks. Yes, nice, Ghana, Juneteenth, fun, all that stuff. But don't forget, leave America and go home. They're trying to un-Americanize us and Africanize us. But we don't fall for the reverse psychology. Nah, ain't fucking happening. Oh, I got my roots. Oh yeah, my roots is right here. All I gotta do is walk out the door to see my roots. But here's another news article, family, where they're trying to get rid of Juneteenth for Coonteenth, where they're trying to un-Americanize and Africanize us. And you always see the same people. You see the Karens and the Kens playing supremacist chaperone, and they're trying to brainwash black folks.
Juneteenth celebrations are happening across the country tonight. And here in the Southland, Leimert Park is hosting a celebration.
Yeah, hundreds of people gathering there to enjoy the good time, but also reflect on the importance of the holiday. Jennifer McGraw joining us live from that celebration tonight. Hey, Jen.
Cricket Court festivities through all the weekend. We've seen marches through the streets of LA.
Jennifer McGraw talking about Juneteenth for foundational black Americans. So Karen is trying to tell us what's going on with our black history. You already know that's fucked up from the jump.
Here to Leimert Park, you can see so many things are happening. There's music, there's food. There's
Everybody out there, fam, got a dashiki on.
Culture here, and what better place to celebrate?
Whoa, let me stop that. She says black culture. They never say black American. Listen.
A vibe of black culture here, and what better place to celebrate Juneteenth than Lemare Park, the cornerstone of the black community.
There go the African drums again, y'all.
Juneteenth belongs to black people. This is our day, and we should be able to celebrate it and be liberated and be as free and black as we want to be. We deserve it.
Juneteenth, Day of Commemoration to Ending Slavery, is underway.
They got the RBG colors flying.
It's a block party to showcase the rich culture of the black community.
Everything that you see here is from Ghana. It's either handmade or hand-stitched.
Whoa, there you go. There goes Ghana again. The first people that they start talking to are some tethers from Ghana. And by the way, right before that, notice they keep saying black people. They never say black American. Any other time they want to say black Americans. What's wrong with black Americans? Black Americans is bad. How come the black American poverty rate is so high? Y'all black Americans need to pick yourself up by the bootstrap. They know when to say black American when they're being negative. But whenever they start talking about Juneteenth, then all of a sudden you get rid of the American and you say people. It goes from black Americans to black people. Black people, that's ambiguous, that's abstract, that's vague as fuck, flat as hell. Anybody can roll in. But you already seen within the first 1 minute of this news segment, they said black people and black culture. Flat as hell 6 or 7 times. And then when they first start talking to somebody, who do they bring out? They bring out a lady who's from Ghana, just like Mr. Fufu a minute ago, selling cheap ass Ghana merchandise at a Juneteenth celebration from Foundational Black Americans. Proceed.
Here it's a block party to showcase the rich culture of the black community.
Everything that you see here is from Ghana. It's either handmade or hand-stitched.
Deidre Dixon says her collection is her way of bridging African culture through art and fashion with us back here at home.
I feel like more people need to know about their culture as African Americans. We need to be more connected.
It's in part a day of celebration.
Right there. We need to know more about our African culture and be more connected with Africa. You see, they always slide in those subtleties. Africa, black, everybody. You see what I'm saying? And notice, family, you heard the term African more times than you've heard the term American. And this is in America, and everyone is speaking English. Do you think you'd ever go to any other country and they would speak about another country more than they speak about their own? If you went to Mexico, they're not going to speak about Ghana more than Mexico in Mexico. If you go to China, they're not going to speak about Zimbabwe more than they're going to speak about their own homeland. Not happening. Y'all know goddamn well, if this was about the W Society and one of their holidays, they would never talk about another country more than they talk about America. Say if this was July 4th. On July 4th, do you hear them talk about England more than America? Do you hear them talk about Italy more than America? Do you hear them talk about France more than America? Hell, on July 4th, do you hear them talk about the planet Earth more than America? They would never talk about another country more than America when it comes to the W Society. Only with black Americans does all of a sudden they don't want to mention America. They are the most overly patriotic people on the planet. Go look at these MAGA rallies and these country music concerts. Kid Rock. All you see is a sea of red, white, and blue. They be out here talking about America's the land of the free and the home of the brave. I salutes Uncle Sam's in the flag. It's red, white, and blue, stars, stripes, and meth pipes. Stars, stripes, and meth pipes. They about that 24/7, 365. Y'all remember how fake mad they got with Colin Kaepernick? And they was talking about, you're disrespecting the flag. You're disrespecting America. It's funny how it was America then. But as soon as we start saying we built the country, we created the country, then all of a sudden it's Africa. Man, what does Neely Fuller say? They play both sides of the argument. They only become non-American is when foundational black Americans tell you that we built America. And not only did we build it, we are the foundation of it all. And see, that term, foundational, that changes everything. You can't remix it. You can't say foundation means later. Foundation means immigrant. Foundation means refugee. No, foundational means day one. Foundational means we started this. And that's the thing. Everybody is angry that foundational black Americans have a connection with this land further back than they do. Foundational Black Americans have accomplished more than any of them combined. And let's not leave this out. Foundational Black Americans are the only non-immigrant and non-deportable group. See, all of those things are all the things that make these motherfuckers furious. These tethers wish that they had our culture. That's why they got to come in and blend in with our culture. See, they know, and I'm talking about the tethers, the minions, the fleers, all the people who come here. They understand that foundational Black Americans have a rich tradition right here in this country, one that they don't have. They got to celebrate holidays from their homeland. We don't have to do that. Everything we celebrate is right here. We don't have to say, man, this is what we did back in Africa. No, no, no. This is what we did back in Haiti or Jamaica. No, no, no. This is what we did back in Puerto Rico or Belize or the Bahamas. No, 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 no. Everything we did was here. Yep, all of our leaders and legends and heroes, they're all foundational Black Americans. We don't have to go nowhere. We straight. And that whole we're straight, we don't have to go anywhere. That's what makes them mad. That we don't have to go nowhere for pride. We don't have to go anywhere for heritage. We don't have to go anywhere for empowerment. And we don't have to go anywhere for family. That FBA family tree is right here. So no, they can keep their history lessons. I don't need no African immigrant trying to give me a history lesson about certified foundational Black American holidays, especially Juneteenth. Speaking of that, family, y'all know I got them receipts and we gonna keep this blitz going. We gonna blitz them like John Madden up in here. Check this out. I seen, and this came across my timeline, a whole segment with an African immigrant lady giving us a breakdown of Juneteenth and the slave trade. Because that's another one of their tactics, family. Y'all notice only when it come to reparations and Juneteenth do they start talking about, we knew about slavery. Slavery was so bad. What happened to you guys? It was wrong what happened. Y'all know any other time when we say, y'all ain't send back a sailboat for us. Ain't nobody come back to help us. What's the first excuse they use, family? Family, FBA, Certified Black Society. Y'all know the first excuse that they give us whenever we call them out on their role in the slave trade. First thing they say is, we did not know what was happening to you. We had no idea what was going on with you. We did not see. We did not hear. We don't learn about slavery. We do not have a clue what happened to you guys. Which one is it? It seems that you flip-flop back and forth whenever it's convenient. I know we say that the W Society plays both sides of the argument. Well, tethers do too. So y'all listen to this right now. This is a historical breakdown from an African immigrant giving us a history lesson and a lecture about the slavery that impacted us. And then on top of that, family, let me tell you, it's actually titled Reflecting on Juneteenth as an African Immigrant. Listen.
Hello, I'm Vivian Kopsinger-Birchall, and I would like to reflect with you about the Juneteenth holiday. The Transatlantic Slave Trade Database estimates 12.5 million Africans were shipped to the New World between 1525 and 1866. About 1.8 million did not even survive the journey, and 10.7 million who did were enslaved. Members of many tribes and ethnic groups were enslaved, with the largest numbers coming from the Bakongo of the present-day Democratic Republic of Congo.
Hey, let me say this real quick, fam. And who was selling those slaves? Who was selling who to who? Exactly.
And Angola and the Mande of Upper Guinea, the Bay speakers of Togo, Ghana, and Benin, the Akan of Ghana and Cote d'Ivoire, and Wolof of Senegal and the Gambia. The Igbo of southeastern Nigeria and the Mbundu of Angola, the Yoruba of southwestern Nigeria, the Chamba of Cameroon, and the Makua of Mozambique.
Okay, she named all of those places, all of those tribes, all of those countries, and not near one of them sent a boat back for us. And beyond all that, what the fuck that got to do with Juneteenth, family? Once again, is this a history lesson about Africa? Because again, she didn't say nothing about America. She didn't say nothing about what our lineage went through. She ain't saying nothing about foundational Black Americans, okay? This is about them cotton fields. See, we quit being Africans when we got here. And by the way, brothers and sisters was already here, okay? They was already Americans. And then when you add the slave trade, that only furthered Black presence here, but it was already here. But that's a whole nother story for a whole nother day. Nonetheless, you see they leave that out though, right? She'll sit there and talk about, and then they all came here from these places and these countries and all of that. Nobody talks about the real true indigenous foundational Black Americans. She's not talking about the maroons. And if you ain't talking about that, then you ain't talking about nothing. Now, Notice that she ain't say nothing about the plantation. She ain't say nothing about picking cotton. She ain't say nothing about being bought and sold right here in America, getting your family split up, and all the hell that brothers and sisters caught right here in this country. She gave us a whole African history lesson again, just like before with Mr. Fufu and Dr. Joloff. Only thing they ever do is they give us these African history lessons about Juneteenth in America. Not once out of all the clips that I played, family, and there's more, not once have you heard anybody say the plantation, not once have you heard anybody say the cotton fields, and not once have you heard anybody say the Deep South. And I live in the Deep South, and I understand the rich tradition. You feel it when you walk down the streets here. How come every foundational Black American I know will say that they'll be somewhere and they'll feel a certain vibe, there'll be a spirit in the air, an energy, and then they'll find out that they were near a plantation that their people came up in. We feel that here. We don't feel that in Ghana. We don't feel that in Nigeria or Zimbabwe or wherever the fuck she was talking about. Keep your African history lesson over there. We don't need none of that, because half y'all act like y'all didn't even know about slavery. Y'all be like, we didn't know what happened to you guys. We just didn't know. And then when we start talking about reparations, then it's, oh yeah, we knew what happened. Yes, can you give me $5? I'll take $22, $2.59, $2.50 in the jawbreaker. Respect, Ezel. Nonetheless, they'll kick into all that Ezel shit when they trying to get our money, but any other time they play dumb. Yeah, keep all that over there. I'm talking about foundational Black American history, culture, and heritage. Anything other than that, we ain't going for it. We don't play with it. I walk down the streets every day right here in the Deep South, and you see the tradition. You see the family tree. We ain't got to go far. Hell to the no. So she breaks it all down from an African perspective. Don't say Juneteenth one time. Don't say plantation one time. Don't say Black American. Ain't said nothing about the USA. You got 50 states to pick from. She ain't said not nail one. But she gave you a whole continental breakdown of Africa and wasn't done.
So why do I mention all of this? What do these stories mean to us? What does this day mean to us? Today is an opportunity to reflect on the cruelty of slavery, to recognize the capability of the human heart to become indifferent and inhumane by choice or greed, and to remind ourselves to not make the same mistakes.
What the fuck? She's talking about the human heart? What the fuck does that got to do with our condition? She's in here talking about the human heart and not making the same mistakes. She damn near talking about we need to heal. She damn near talking that W supremacist vocabulary. We need to heal. And it's emotional. We need to celebrate progress. That's turning into a everything done got better, y'all. We need to work together as the human family. Now check this out. Oh, I'm about to get it. Boy, I got some goddamn receipts. Y'all listen to this. In a second, you're going to start hearing her stutter. She starts talking about, what can we do to help them? I mean, us. Watch, family. Hold on. Shit. Let's get to it. Listen.
Although African Americans were emancipated under the law, there are still invincible chains around us, around them.
Hold, no, stop, freeze. Y'all heard that. There are still invincible chains around, them. She don't even know who she's talking about. You see, that right there, that's somebody who's trying to tether in. That's a tether slip up. That is a tether tongue tied. That is talking through your tether teeth. She was trying to run that whole we are them and fucked up and said, no, we're us and they're them. You see? Listen, hold on. We run that shit back. Check it out.
To reflect on the cruelty of slavery.
Yeah.
The capability of the human heart to become indifferent and inhumane by choice or greed.
Listen close, family.
To remind ourselves to not make the same mistakes. Although African Americans were emancipated under the law, there are still invincible chains around us, around them, embedded in biased systems and structures in health.
You had it right. You said us and then them. Just like when someone from the dominant society has supremacist Tourette syndrome and they start blurting shit out, she just got caught slipping. That's like when these news anchors and these sports announcers start having these fake slip-ups and they be like, yeah, Martin Luther King. Those 4 black N-I-G-G-O. I'm sorry. Y'all know what I'm talking about. She just had a tether slip up, straight up and down. She really meant to say us and them. But then she realized that's not good for business. She's trying to tether in. And tethers always have to make it look like we all one. Y'all know, we all's black. We ain't never all black any other time, but we got to be all's black to get y'all money. We got to be all's black to co-op y'all holidays. So I can't run around here and say us and thems, I got to say we all is one. And that's exactly what she was doing. She slipped up. And unfortunately for her, just like the whole goddamn world, Black Alpha Network, the certified hunted, we see through your ass a mile away, so ain't none of that shit getting off the ground. But before I let Miss Tether go, y'all know at the end, they always try to slide something in, right? That's what dude was doing earlier when he's like, and by the way, go home. Go back to your roots. All right, news at 11. And then they try to move on. They try to leave you with that last little pointer. Listen right here when she starts going full All Lives Matter. So she gave us a whole African lecture. She gave us a whole us and them. And then at the end, she starts talking about allies. Family, what the fuck that got to do with Juneteenth? What the fuck that got to do with foundational Black Americans? What the fuck that got to do with chattel slavery right here in the United States? What the fuck that got to do with the plantation? What the fuck that got to do with picking cotton? Nothing. Listen to this All Lives Matter talk from this K00NTeenth Tether.
We can choose to defy inhumane rules, practices, and biases, and in doing so make our world, country, and community a better and more welcoming place. To all the allies who defy the rules set by oppressors, we thank you and acknowledge you. It is through people like you in the past that we stand here today. Observing the day the word of emancipation reached the enslaved Africans in Texas. And it is with the help and bold steps of courageous men and women and children that we continue to break the systemic and structural chains that remain today. In closing, I would like to request for a moment of silence to remember all the innocent human beings that our African ancestors who lost their lives to slavery.
Notice that she did not say our Black American ancestors. Did y'all notice that? She didn't say our Black American brothers and sisters. She didn't say our Black American ancestors. She said all of our African. That's that Dr. Umar shit. How Dr. Umar is always saying the Africans in America. He refuses to ever say Black Americans. He refuses to say foundational. He never says that. They always try to be slick and say, yeah, all the Africans in America. Yep, that's what y'all is. Y'all just Africans. They have to always call us African. Y'all remember when Muhammad Ali changed his name from Cassius Clay to Muhammad Ali? And those people would never refer to him as Muhammad. They would always say, what do you want, Cassius? And he said, man, my name is Muhammad Ali. Yeah, okay, we hear you, Cassius. Listen, Cassius. And then he'd get in that ring and put them paws on you, but that's another story. That's what they do to us. It's that same shit where you're not acknowledging us by what we call ourselves. And that is the most disrespectful thing you could ever do. The worst thing you could do is call somebody out their name. Family, we are all from the FBA family tree. What happens when somebody calls you out your name? Especially when you make it clear to them they better not do it. And they continue to do it. Y'all know shit get real. And that's what they're doing with us. Open, overt, clear disrespect by always trying to reference us as non-Americans, Africans. And that's what she was doing. Let's talk about all of our Africans who were enslaved. I thought we were talking about Juneteenth and Black Americans. You're only there talking because you're talking about our holiday. How the fuck did it go from I'm an African immigrant reflecting on Juneteenth, an American day, to let's give a moment of silence for all the Africans across the world and thank all the W allies who helped us? Man, get the fuck out of here. She can bounce, kick rocks, all that shit. That is more of the Africanizing of our culture. Now, isn't it funny? We say they contradict themselves, right? She sat there and gave this whole speech about how we're all connected, will never even refer to us, refuse to refer to us as Americans, never called us Americans one time. And when she did, she was African Americans. They can't say American without saying African. So it's either African American or Africans in America. That's what they always do. She never called us foundational Black Americans or just Black Americans. It always had to be something that connects us with them. Because remember, when you're a tether, you have to connect yourself to us or you're not going to get in on our reparations money that we all know this is what this is really about. It's all about our reparations. 99.9% of foundational Black Americans' dealings with anybody from any other community is about them trying to get our reparations money. That's what it is right now, today, at this time. Any dealing, I don't give a fuck if you walking down the street and somebody smiles at you. They thinking, how can I get that money? I don't give a fuck if somebody opens the door for you at a store. They're thinking, how can I get that paper? I don't give a fuck if you get 3 new followers on social media. All 3 of their asses is thinking how they can get your Black American reparations check because they weren't doing this shit before. Y'all notice that as soon as we start representing that FBA flag, everybody start throwing up their RBG flags. As a matter of fact, I called into our brother Tariq the other night. He had a space. And that was the question, what we're all talking about right now. And I told him, notice how when we started waving our FBA flag, everybody start trying to wave their RBG flag. They trying to get rid of our colors and put in their colors so they can connect the two of us.
Let me get Black Alpha on here, my FBA brother, Black Alpha Network.
What's going on, brother Tariq? How you doing, family?
I'm good, Black Alpha. How are you, sir?
Man, I'm doing good. They got the mayonnaise, the meth pipes, and the bland mashed potatoes out tonight, family. So I don't know what's going on in the world, brother, but you know, to the topic, family. I do believe they're trying to co-opt Juneteenth. I remember last year when I would get on Google, they would have the RBG colors. Now, the dominant society has never embraced that RBG flag until we embrace the FBA flag.
Right.
Now, all of a sudden, you know, now they want to do that. So they trying to turn it into Tether-teenth, All Lives Matter-teenth, POC-teenth, but we just got to keep it FBA all day, every day, family. And that's all. Salute to you, family.
And much respect. Thank you so much, brother.
Yes, so notice that was the play. All of a sudden, you start seeing people from the dominant society wearing dashikis. You see the Democrats wearing dashikis, kneeling like Colin Kaepernick. They're always trying to insist and imply and persuade us to embrace Africa. And then all the tethers are saying how we need to embrace Africa. Let me say this. I want them all to hear this. As a certified foundational Black American, let it be known. We're going to let the whole world know this. You can never Africanize my foundational Black American lineage. That part. Check it, write it down all day. We right here, 10 toes down, loyal to the soil. As a matter of fact, we're the only people who have ever been loyal to the soil. Why? It's because we are the creators. Every foundation needs an architect, and we are the architect. But to poke more holes in all of this contradiction that they run, like I said, 50% of these tethers are going to tell us they didn't know about slavery, and then the other 50s going to come around and tell us how this is what really happened. You guys should all learn. Check this out. I don't know what the fuck. And then also, remember fam, I'm on record always saying, you're going to have the people who are trying to stop our reparations, and then those who are trying to get in on our reparations. One person is going to say, stay home Akata, and then the other person is going to say, come home brother. It don't matter. You can't win with these people, man. They don't even know what the fuck they're doing. You ever have somebody talk and they don't look like they believe themselves? That's how it is. So we just heard that lady, that Tether lady, Miss Tether, and she gave us a whole African history lesson, didn't say American once, refused to acknowledge us as Black Americans, kept consistently calling us Africans. We just seen her sit there and talk about us and how we're all one. Remember, Tether's got to make it look like there's all one. They don't even practice that all one shit in their homeland. In their homeland, it's tribe, tribe, tribe. You over there, I'm on this side of the village. You on that side of the jungle. I'm on this side of the desert. You on that side of the water well. But when it comes to us, then all of a sudden it's we all one, right? Well, anyway, that's the person who represents the can I get in on their reparations? Can I get in on their Juneteenth? Then you got this other lady, and a lot of y'all heard this video, but we're going to play it right now. This lady came out and said that foundational Black Americans are biting off of African culture. We're the culture vultures. No lie. That's what she says. It's that same Steve Harvey shit. When Steve Harvey was out here trying to say we's one and we is them and all that we shit, right? It ain't ever we whenever foundational Black Americans needed something. It's only we when they need something from us. So listen to this lady right here. She tell a whole different story than the last person. The last person said we all one. We all one big family. This lady right here says, no, we not. We Africans and y'all's Americas. Listen to this.
You know what I find absolutely hilarious? When an American raised in America, whose culture is American, tries to Afri-splain Africa to an African. Yet,
what?
If I asked you to name me 5 countries in Africa, off the top of your head, you probably can't, not including South Africa. But you'll be the first one to claim a continent about which you have no idea. You probably don't even understand your own history or where your ancestors came from. You probably can't tell me much about the transatlantic slave trade now, can you? Or which countries were involved in it. But you'll be the first one to gatekeep African culture from people who don't look like me, which makes you a racist. Plain and simple.
The fuck?
Makes you a racist. Plain and simple. How about less claiming, more learning? That's my American husband with German ethnicity learning about my Kikuyu culture during our traditional wedding ceremony at Rurashio back in Kenya. That's how you embrace a culture. You learn about it. You don't claim it. Africa does not belong to you. We are not a color. We are not colors. No one is a color.
Man, I don't know what's worse. A bed winch or a tether. And if you put them together, shit get even more fucked up. What I tell y'all, a tether and a swirler equals a twirler. And that's what the fuck she was. She was twirling all through that shit. And by the way, did y'all hear that? She said she got a W husband. Yeah, no shit. You could already tell. So she says that we're the tethers. And then she called us racist. She said foundational black Americans are racist. So she took everything that her zaddy gave her and then she tried to put that on us. They always try to get us to wear these jackets, fam. I'm telling you, they better take that extra schmedium shit back to Ghana. Hell nah. You better take that cheap knockoff brand shit back to your homeland. Foundational black Americans don't roll that way, homegirl. So hell no. So that's just another person sitting there talking about us, saying foundational black Americans are this and that or whatever. They all gonna come up with something. That's why we don't even acknowledge them. That's what they get mad about, is that we stay in our own lane and don't even focus on them. We so looking at money. We so looking at our own empowerment and being the best, strongest lineage, heritage, and culture of excellence that the world has ever seen. We ain't got no time for these people. The only time they come up is when we roasting them. And then we roast them, roast the next one, and then get to the money. So it doesn't really matter. These people cannot exist in our presence. And now they're finally realizing that. So salute to our goddamn selves, because we're the ones who put that precedence out there. She said, you guys cannot talk about Africa like you own it. You do not own Africa. How could you refer to yourself as African? I'm like, man, you must be talking to Dr. Umar. That must be Dr. Umar. See, that's the thing. She talking about Pan-Africans. This is how far behind she is. We ain't running around here on no Pan-Africanisms. All right? Pan-Africanisms don't even exist in Pan-Africa. So you must be talking to Dr. Umar, Dr. Kubar, Dr. Hubar, or whoever the fuck. Because you cannot be talking about foundational black Americans, because we ain't worrying about what y'all got. Y'all worrying about us. Notice, you on a TikTok, and by the way, man, TikTok got the most tethers that you've ever seen. What we say, them TikTok tethers? Every goddamn day. You don't never see them talking about the dominant society. What have y'all seen more, fam? TikTok tethers talking about the dominant society and anti-blackness? Talking about supremacy, or them hating on us? It ain't even close. For every one video that they mention supremacy, there's another billion where they hating on FBA, saying goofy shit like that lady was just saying right there. So they need to get their priorities in check and worry about why their homeland is in ruins and why foundational black Americans are out here leading the pack. That's what they need to worry about. And speaking of Dr. Kubar Vasquez, he came out and he was giving the same bullshit ass excuse. You know, people come here to America and they have to do what the dominant society says. You know, the dominant society makes them hate us. Can we stop with that? Can we stop with the they only hate us because the dominant society at the immigration office tells them to? No, they don't. The dominant society does not make them hate us. They already got that tribal shit and that jealousy for foundational black Americans. How do you know this? Because there's a whole lot of those TikTok tethers and folks that will never ever come here, and they already have vitriol for foundational black Americans. There are Africans who have never stepped foot on this continent and never plan to, and they can't stand us. So if the immigration office makes these people hate us, how do you explain the foundational black Americans that travel over there and end up getting harmed? Y'all remember that elderly couple that went over there and never made it back home? Yeah, and all the other horror stories of black Americans traveling to Africa and being met with all types of hatred. And these folks didn't learn that at the immigration office. They got to stop with that. That's that same it's the government shit. When is it ever them? When is it ever them that are trying to co-opt our Juneteenth movement? When is it ever them that's trying to slide and weasel into our reparations? It's always the government. It's always the immigration office. It's always the dominant society. That's why you get 100 different excuses from them. They are the most unaccountable motherfuckers that you ever come across. They never take accountability. You can literally sell off half your population and then get mad at them for getting sold off, and then come back and try to lecture them on their holiday while you're trying to get in on the reparations money that belongs to them for you selling them. Get the fuck out of here, man. Hell to the no. Take some accountability. You're not taking accountability in your own homeland. That's why it's in shambles. And speaking of all that, what about all those horror stories about foundational black Americans going over there and getting harmed? I remember hearing about a sister from Detroit. She went out there, never made it back home. Man, you hear them all the time. And these aren't people who are learning this stuff from the immigration office. These are folks who ain't never came to America, have no thoughts of coming to America. But yet that foundational black American hatred is already in them. So Dr. Umar, he's making them same Pan-African excuses. He needs to sit down with Miss Tether because apparently they ain't on the same page. But he's talking about, man, when you come to America, you know, you have to embrace hatred because that's the way it is. Yeah, that's the way it is. But they don't have to create a hater. All they got to do is enhance a hater who is already hating.
Africans or Caribbeans or other black people feel towards black Americans?
Well, the white man's original tactic of divide and conquer, separate and rule, is still his most cherished weapon against African people. You see, understandably, when people look at America up until now being, quote unquote, the most powerful country in the world, if you want to get down with the most powerful country in the world, you're going to have to despise who they despise. And since America has done such a great job despising African people, anybody who wants to come to this country, even if they are African, are going to seek somebody else's company other than ours.
Wait a minute. Did he say understandably? Did he just say understandably? If you want to hate on who America hates on, you got to hate on foundational black Americans to get brownie points. I'm sure he just said understandably. Family, y'all heard it. And I don't want to hear nobody in the world tell me, well, what he meant was understandably that's what happens. Family, I don't give a fuck. I would never mention or utter the term understandably. Your ass sides with the dominant society to hate us.
The white man's original tactic of divide and conquer, separate and rule is still his most cherished weapon against African people. You see, understandably, when people look at America up until now being, quote unquote, the most powerful country in the world, if you want to get down with the most powerful country in the world, you're going to have to despise who they despise. And since America has done such a great job despising African people, anybody who wants to come to this country, even if they are African, are going to seek somebody else's company other than ours.
That sounds like a goddamn excuse. You caping. You Captain Save a Tether. Nobody right now, family, would any of y'all say some shit like, understandably, if you want to hate black Americans, that's what you got to do. If you want to get down with the dominant society, that's what you got to do. If you want a green card, that's what you got to do. If that wasn't Dr. Kubar Vasquez who said that, and that was some random tether from the diaspora, and they said, well, understandably, I have to hate you. I have to not like you. I have to talk down on you so I can get a green card. Would anybody accept that type of language? Fuck no. Fuck no, fuck no, fuck no. And that's what you get with your typical outdated Pan-African. The excuses are the same as the excuses that are coming from the homeland. It's a whole cycle of it.
Right? That doesn't make what they do right. But we have to look at the fact that we as African people in America haven't done a whole lot collectively to make ourselves the power base we should be for all African people.
Whoa, hold up, pause, goddammit, hold up. Wait. Did y'all hear that excuse? This man just said that doesn't make it right, but the reason they do it is because we haven't made ourselves the base for black empowerment across the world. First off, we are the base of black empowerment across the world because if there were no foundational black Americans, the whole planet of black folks would be in shackles. If you don't believe me, go look at the condition of black folks outside of America and tell me I'm wrong. Exactly. Go down to Latin America. Go to the diaspora. Go through the Caribbean. Tell me how well they're living compared to foundational black Americans and tell me we aren't the base. And then this man said, it's okay. Let's make that certified translation. Y'all know right here on the Black Alpha Network, salute to all my day one subscribers and a certified salute to all my new subscribers. There's something oh, by the way, I love y'all with a passion. There's something we do right here on the Black Alpha Network, and that's called certified translation. Where we give the foundational black American translation for whatever bullshit lie that people try to tell us, okay? They say the bullshit and we give the translation for what they really trying to say. They just too afraid to say it, and we ain't afraid of nothing. We speak, no filters. That man right there just said, understandably, when people come here, tethers from the diaspora, they gotta hate on foundational black Americans. And then he followed that by saying, it's not right, but it's foundational black Americans' fault because we ain't got no money. That's the certified translation right there. We ain't even got to get that deep. We ain't got to pull out the scalpel, the microscope, the telescope, none of that. He said it's okay for tethers to come here and get brownie points from the dominant society, all because foundational black Americans don't spend their money correct. And by the way, that's the same guy who said we don't spend our money correct, so we don't deserve reparations.
Because every penny you get from reparations is going to go to the Chinaman, to the Arab. You know why? Because as a psychologist, the best predictor of future behavior is current behavior.
Right.
So you mean to tell me we're going to radically change our spending habits with the reparations money? What happened to all the stimulus checks Black America got? What we do with that for the people? What about our tax returns? What do we do with that for the people? What have we done since Dr. King's murder 55 years ago, financially and collectively, to transform our reality? Nothing at all. And that's why I've said I do not believe that the current generation of African people should be responsible for the dissemination or discussion over reparations, because we haven't done anything worthwhile that will entitle us to that type of responsibility.
Are you surprised that someone who would say some off-coded shit like that, some really defeated, weak-ass shit like that? Are you surprised that that same individual would give hall passes, bus passes, train passes, green lights, and go lights for tethers to come on over here and disrespect us, all at the same time refusing to acknowledge us as Americans? Are you shocked that that would be the same person? Probably not. Brother, your track record, your agenda, your resume looking like dirt. Your paperwork is filthy right about now. And you're fucking up your legacy every time you speak, bruh. So get that shit right. As a certified foundational Black American Black Alpha Network, I'm telling you, bruh, just be quiet, don't say nothing, because every time you speak, it's getting more worse. There's not a certified that I know, nobody in the chat would ever say anything like, it's okay for tethers to hate us because we're just slackers. Would any of y'all say that? Would any certified that you know say that? Would they even mention it? Would they condone it? Would they excuse it? Alibis, justifications? That sounds like the dominant society saying, yeah, we harmed a couple black people, but what about black on black crime in Chicago? The same exact thing. He just gave the Pan-African version of why it's okay to hate on FBA. He basically gave a green light for people to come over here, go to the immigration office, and hate on foundational Black Americans. And that's why Pan-Africanism is gone. Pan-Africanism really never existed, and Pan-Africanism is a joke. I said it, meant it, will say it again and again and again. But when you start talking about all of these people coming on over here, getting in on our culture, hating what we do at the same time, you know, foundational Black Americans, we the only people on the planet Earth where you'll hate us and then try to act like us. You'll hate us and use our slang. Half the people who talk down on us, they're using foundational Black American language. Ain't that something? If you gonna hate on somebody, talk like your own self. Don't worry about us. And that's what they always do. They try to get in on what we're doing. Shout out to everybody out there, and I'm talking about all my FBAs who are riding for our sister AJ Owens. AJ Owens was the sister who was harmed down in Florida with that W lady. And there's a pattern here that we've been pointing out right here in the Black Grassroots. And it's about how everybody in the diaspora is silent on what happened to that sister. And the only people riding for her are foundational Black Americans. Some people say she's Nigerian. Some people say she's not Nigerian. That hasn't been verified and confirmed yet. I don't know. Do y'all know? I'm not sure. What I do know is that that is a Black woman. And the only people riding for that Black woman are foundational Black Americans. So whether she's from Nigeria or not, we are the only people sticking up for her. And I put this out there. I said, when it comes to the AJ Owens case, the diaspora is silent. When it comes to an anti-Black hate crime protection, the diaspora is silent. When it comes to reparations, they loud and wrong. When it comes to Juneteenth, they loud and wrong. They don't have no type of energy to stick up for foundational Black Americans who are harmed or people from the diaspora who are harmed. They never stick up for them at all. There's a lot of immigrants who come over here and they get harmed, and you never hear the immigrant community sticking up for them. You don't never hear Africans out here with picket signs saying, stop the crime. You don't never hear that. They're quick to come over here and say, you FBAs need to get it together. But they don't never do nothing about the harm that faces their own fellow diaspora people. Don't ever say nothing. They're silent as fuck. Matter of fact, what do they contribute in terms of bettering Black people? What do they? They don't say shit about an anti-Black hate crime protection. No, the same motherfucker who is silent on the anti-Black hate crime protection be the main one saying how he wants reparations for all the bad things. I'm telling you, all they do is jump back and forth, flip-flop all over the place. They cannot be trusted. They cannot be trusted. And a lot of folks, they come out here and they say, man, foundational Black Americans, I'm from the diaspora, and I'm telling you now, we not all like that. We got your back. Don't judge us all based on a few bad apples. Man, fuck that. Listen, This whole thing where a couple people come over and they say, man, we not all this way. Don't judge the whole diaspora based on a few people. We don't need you to come to us and say how y'all are a good ally. Y'all's not all anti-FBA. Take that shit to your own coons in your own community. FBA, we don't export coons internationally. We handle they asses right here, okay? We call ours out. Y'all know how it go. We done been down this road a billion times. Foundational Black Americans, we got a code. We call out people who are off code. Anybody who's out here tap dancing or butter biscuit chasing, FBA's done checked them so much that they keep that shit in-house. You don't have to worry about the Jesse Lee Petersons of the world getting on the damn plane, using his passport and bringing cooning to the whole world. No, he know better than that because he sees what it's like to have to deal with FBA who don't go for it. The very fact that these people don't check coons in their homeland and then they come over here and try to bring that shit to us, that lets you know that that shit run rampant. It run rampant where you are. If your coons board planes and take they cooning to the other side of the earth, that means that you ain't did a good enough job checking them right where you are. So all these diaspora allies who are always so hell-bent on telling FBA that they're not all bad, man, save that same energy checking your folks. Don't come to me and tell me how good you are my friend and how not all of y'all is bad. Handle that shit where you are. That same energy that you got to seek me out and tell me how y'all a couple bad apples, that same energy you could be G-checking them bad apples. Why foundational Black Americans gotta clean up the mess for everybody else? Why we gotta regulate our coons and then go to the diaspora every single country and regulate all theirs? How come y'all can't do it? You can make these phone calls. You can hop on these Twitter spaces, send these emails and tell us, we's not all's bad. You can tell us that. Then why the fuck is it our job? Matter of fact, let me say this. Family, it is not your job to regulate tethers from other communities. It is their jobs to do it. So by the time that a tether comes here and they disrespect foundational Black American culture, we hold the people from their homelands responsible. If they were on code back home, we wouldn't have to worry about dealing with the motherfuckers in our home. It's as simple as that. 1, 2, 3. And instead of them telling us how we got so many friends in the diaspora and how they gonna ride for us and how they really got our back, well, go have our back and go ride for us back in your homeland and start G-checking some folks. You ain't gotta tell us, by the way. We don't need nobody to call us and say, we really your friend out here. Y'all got 77 friends in the diaspora. I promise you, you do. We not all bad. We don't need you to tell us. We're very intelligent, very thoughtful people. We can separate the real from the fake very good. We have a code. Understand that. We have a code. So we know who's good, who's bad, who's real, who's fake, who's counterfeit, who's certified, who's artificial and authentic. You ain't got to tell us that we got folks who got our back. The real will show themselves, and then the fake will show themselves. And the fake ones is going to get their ass G-checked and sent back fucking home. So when we send them back home, your ass can deal with them. That motherfucking part. Yes, indeed. I'm tired of foundational Black Americans having to do all the dirty work, while all these other people just sit around and explain themselves or come over here and start talking crazy. And you notice, whenever they come over here and try to explain themselves to us, they don't never talk about how they regulate folks in their community. They don't never say shit like, yeah, they was talking down on Black Americans and we G-checked them. They don't ever say that. Where do they give you stories of them regulating? Do they ever say, yeah, I was out there and I seen 5 folks talking bad about FBA and I said, y'all ain't gonna talk bad about our brothers. Y'all ain't gonna talk down on our sisters. You don't ever hear any stories about them advocating for us. Trust me, if they was regulating all the people who talk down on us, they would have a billion stories to tell us because there's a billion haters. You don't ever see the same proportionate amount of haters and regulators. All these folks out here who talk down on FBA, but yet all these diaspora friends, all these diaspora allies, they don't never give us stories about how they put an end to that shit. I ain't once heard a story when someone says, man, I was back in Jamaica, I was back in Haiti, I was back in Africa, and they were hating on Black Americans, and I said, y'all better stop. Y'all better quit talking about my brother. Y'all better quit talking about my sisters. I don't ever hear him say that. Where are all the advocating stories of them holding us down? You ain't got none. So trust and believe. 9 times out of 10, when someone comes around and says, we not all bad, just think about when a W comes around and says, we not all bad. Typically, they really are all bad and they trying to look all good, but we don't fall for all that bullshit. Real will show themselves, fake won't, and we'll expose the rest. It ain't FBA's job to pull out the dustpan, the mop, and the broom and start sweeping up everybody who can't keep themselves on code. We worried about ours, you worry about yours. That come to lineage, heritage, reparations, and all the G-checking. We got terms for our sellouts. What's they terms? We got names for people who go off code here. We got a name for the code. Family, I'm asking you right now, please, yes or no, can you put it in the chat or in the comment section for me? Can you tell me, does anybody out there all across the diaspora have a term for being on code? How we say we're on code and we represent each other as a family, what is the term that they use for being on code? Do they even have a term for being on code? Do they even have a code to put a term to? If not, then they need to be quiet and pipe down. We G-check our coons, I suggest they do the same. It's not our job to handle your Sambo infestation. It's not our job to handle your sellout infestation. It's not our job to do what you should have done in your homeland, and then you come to me and tell me, man, we not all's bad, man, we ain't going for that shit. We got the whole dominant society who been trying to run that we's not all's bad for 400 fucking years. So if you are an ally of FBA and you are in the diaspora, don't call up to our Twitter spaces, don't leave comments, don't see us in the street and tell us we not all bad, man. The diaspora love y'all. Take that same energy and start doing what the fuck we do. Start G-checking those who are off code and quit allowing your off-coded coons to export themselves to America, so we gotta clean up the damn mess. You feel me? That part. Now, let's continue to take this world tour of everybody who's trying to get in on our Juneteenth celebration. Yes, we will. Where we want to go, fam? Where we want to go? Let's make any stop, and I'm going to guarantee a receipt of somebody who is not from Foundational Black America trying to slide and weasel themselves into our Juneteenth claim. Let's think. We were just talking about the diaspora. Okay, we already broke down Africa and how Africa tries to slide in. We talked about the Democratic Shields. Yes. I guess since we're on the subject of the diaspora, let's go to Jamaica. Let's talk about how the Jamaicans are trying to get in on Juneteenth. We already talked about the Africans. Now let's talk about the Jamaicans. Right here is evidence again where you have people from Jamaica right near the beach, boy, trying to get in on our Juneteenth holiday. Listen.
Wagwan, welcome home to Pimento Jamaican Kitchen. We have some jerk chicken, rice and beans, plantain and island slush. Where you go? Here you go. Yeah, man, right here down at Broadway. You know, we have to come represent. You know what I'm saying? Thank you so much for all you guys are doing. You know, we have food going all day because, of course, Juneteenth, right? If you've never heard of it, now's your turn to learn. Sorry, but you're missing out on a party, and you need to come join us over here. The cool chefs coming together to make sure that everybody's taken care of. So come party with us. Trust me, it's going to be fun.
Y'all heard that? What's that? Receipt number 985? Yeah. Notice he said Juneteenth one time. And then he started goddamn dancing. He started running around talking about a party. He don't give a damn. He's talking about Juneteenth. He's like, you don't know about it, man. You need to read about the Juneteenth, man. Yes, we have. Because we Foundational Black Americans. We didn't even have to read about it. We lived it. See, that's what I'm talking about. That's why all of them are running their mouths. They flapping their gums. They're all talking about it. You notice the one denominator, the African lady and this guy, they're always trying to enlighten us about our shit. You ever meet somebody who trying to tell you about shit that you've lived your whole life? They trying to put you on game about your household. These folks is coming to us trying to lecture or teach us about our own culture. This is not your culture, Mr. Jamaican man. I'm sure you make the best jerk chicken I'd ever find, but that is for you. Over here, this is certified Foundational Black Americans, and we don't need nobody to fly in from the diaspora and pull out a fucking book and start trying to teach us about our own history. Man, these motherfuckers disrespectful as fuck. They disrespectful as fuck. Have we ever done this? Have you seen any Foundational Black American fly over to anywhere in the diaspora and start trying to teach them about their own shit? Have you ever seen that? Do we fly over to Nigeria and start trying to teach Nigerians about Nigeria and get in on their holidays at the same time? Do we fly over to Jamaica and start trying to put them up on their own culture? Do we give them whole seminars on Rastafarian culture and Bob Marley? Do we do any of that? Do we go say, y'all know Peter Tosh now? Do we do any of that? Do we go to the Bahamas or Barbados? Do we go and try to talk to them about their own shit? And in the meantime, try to sell them whack-ass food or whack-ass beads or play little songs from their community? We don't do none of that. Foundational Black Americans, we stay in our own lane. Don't worry about nobody. That's the problem. You too worried about us, you need to get your own shit. That's what they do. You'll never see us doing that. You'll never see a black American boarding a flight and going over to Haiti and trying to teach Haitians about Haiti. No, we don't do that. Matter of fact, oh shit, y'all wanna continue this world tour? Where next? Wanna go to Haiti? We can go to Haiti. Let's go to Haiti. Oh, whoa, wait. Before we go to Haiti, didn't I tell you I was gonna speak on the sugarcane and how they're trying to tie picking sugarcane in Jamaica to Juneteenth in America? That is the truth. I came across a video, family, we done played a whole bunch of people today trying to find a whole bunch of sneaky ass ways to tie their culture, their community, their Skittles bag, all into our Juneteenth celebration. Yes, we done seen it. I done found the worst of the worst now. Just when you think shit can't get worse, it does. Just when you think the tethers can't tether no more, they do. Just when you think the desperation done stopped, these motherfuckers done ratcheted up. Certified foundational black American family, do you know I came across a video of a man in Jamaica and he said in order for them to commemorate Juneteenth, they gonna pick some goddamn sugarcane. I ain't lying. It happened, trust and believe me. Yes, and I'm about to play it for you. I said I was gonna play it for you earlier and I damn near forgot. But how the hell can you forget this? This man is out in a field in Jamaica and he said in order for them to commemorate Juneteenth, he has to pick some fucking sugarcane. These tethers done lost they goddamn minds. And we here for it.
So today is Juneteenth, 19th of June, commemorating the end of slavery. For the slaves really that were in Galveston, Texas, the enslaved people there. They'd been enslaved and they hadn't known that they were free.
That sugarcane chopping in the back, y'all. Just so you know what you're hearing.
They were set free from the land that they were on. Various reasons why it took so long for them to be told, but told they were after 2 years of Abraham Lincoln signing the proclamation to end slavery in the U.S. And I could think of nowhere today I'd rather be actually. In the fields in Jamaica as an act of solidarity to my peeps. Happy Juneteenth, everybody. Happy Emancipation Day.
Motherfucker, you keep your happy Juneteenth. You keep that shit right over there in them goddamn sugarcane fields. Yes, and by the way, you can tell that guy got colonial all in his tether ass teeth. Yes, that sounds like a UK Jamaican. And he done went back to his homeland of Jamaica. So he's a two-time tether. Okay? That's a two-time tether. That is a Jamaican who went to the UK, who came back to Jamaica to chop up some damn sugarcane so you can celebrate Juneteenth. And then he had the nerve to say there's no place where he'd rather be. So the place that he would rather be the most is the place where the slaves wanted to be the least. And he did it so he could celebrate the slaves. Man, they mind so goddamn backwards. They done put their whole brain in fucking reverse. What the hell? And then he got folks out there smiling. They was happy. Matter of fact, hold on. Y'all don't believe me? Sugarcane cutting in Jamaica on Juneteenth 2020. Look that shit up. Look it up if you don't believe me, and you can see this big ass smiling tether and how happy he was to be a two-time tether so he could flee from this country to that country and back again and still bring that Fleetman attitude with him the whole way. Family, we done seen all types of crazy shit they done did to get in on our lineage. These last 5 years have been very, very interesting. We done seen motherfuckers do every single thing imaginable to get in on our reparations. They out here trying to get dark skin. They out there painting their skin. They out there getting fucking melanin injections, no lie. They out there pulling out falsified birth certificates. They speaking in fake ass accents, saying they from the south side of Chicago and they from the south side of the Sahara Desert. These motherfuckers is hopping from country to country, jumping over borders, fences, planes, life crafts, anything they can do to get in on foundational black American lineage so they can get in on foundational black American reparations. And no matter whether they go to the reparations door, we slam that shit in their face. They go to the lineage door, slam it in their face. The heritage door, we slamming it in their face. And with all this clown shit they're doing to try to get in on Juneteenth, we slamming that door in their face too. Full house. I'm picking sugarcane so I can celebrate black folks. the fuck out of here. I done heard it all. Goddamn. That's a whole world tour, family. And we done seen ops at every stop. We just went to Africa. They getting in on our Juneteenth. We just went to Jamaica. They getting in on our Juneteenth. Now, let's go to Haiti and talk about how they're trying to slide their way into our Juneteenth. Y'all know Black Alpha. I got receipts. If y'all don't smash that like button and share this video right now, I don't care if it's Twitter, Instagram, your Facebook, share this. Let's let the whole world know that this is Juneteenth, not Coonteenth. Big difference. Let's fly on over to another place and talk about how they trying to co-opt what we started. Let's go.
I'm happy that I'm aware, and I'm happy that there is such a thing that has a celebration for African Americans, and I'm grateful for being made aware of it.
We are there today to make sure that everybody hear our voices. Our voices matter. So the way we celebrate it today, we're just making sure that everybody know who we are and what we're about and what we're going to do today to celebrate our big day. I've been out there since 10 a.m. today, protesting, telling people, Haitian, we out there, Haitian, we out there, Haitian, we out there, we are protesting and we're with the people.
You heard that? Haitians are out there. That right there was a Haitian Juneteenth parade in New York City. And that guy wasn't even talking about Juneteenth. Again, he wasn't even talking about Juneteenth, and he said nothing about America. He's out there talking about our voices will be heard. Haitians are here. Okay, we hear you, Wyclef, but what the fuck that got to do with Juneteenth? And once again, you're talking about our holiday, but you ain't talking about us. They're all acting like they're at a fucking audition, just pulling up and saying, man, this is what it is. We here, we feel this way. Let's talk about what happened in our homeland. Well, y'all know this is about Black Americans, right? Is it? I thought it was for everybody. It's the same thing over and over. So fam, we just went from Africa to Jamaica to Haiti. Let's make another trip, because y'all know this wouldn't be the same if you didn't start talking about the peoples of color, the black and brown, no elition, N-O. And y'all know it's a little different with them now. Let's get it. When you start talking about the people from the diaspora, they can slide in because they're all black. They look like us. What they want to do is they want to come over here and remove the Black American with the Black African. And they want to put up their hand and say, we all the same color, brother. See, that's what they want to do. So their tactics are a little more tricky. When you start talking about the black and brown folks, what they want to do is just say, our history is theirs. That's what they want to do. They don't want to even pretend that they're us. They want to pretend that what we did, they did. Oh yeah. Y'all been seeing, and I remember talking about this 2 years ago. They're starting to pop up with all these articles and news segments saying how Black Americans were protected by the brown folks and how the people of colors were really the ones that started Juneteenth. They're really the ones who created Juneteenth. They're really the ones who freed the slaves. Yeah, that's what they're trying to do. It's the same BS they do when they say immigrants built America. See, what they want to do is they want to take out the term slave and insert the term immigrants. That's their tactic, to insert themselves where we were. That's why John Leguizamo was going around saying all of those FBA talking points, but he was removing FBA and saying immigrant. That's what you see them doing now with Juneteenth. They're basically saying, in certified Black Society translation, they're basically saying Juneteenth was not just about black folks. It was about brown folks too. Listen.
All right, well, this Hispanic Heritage Month, we are highlighting the history of Latinos and their part in history, helping blacks escape slavery. Fox 26's Dominic Keith is in Galveston with the story.
Typically, when we think of the history of slavery here in Texas, we think of Juneteenth in Galveston. But I'm speaking with a couple of historians today who say we need to think of that history even further south, because decades before Juneteenth, Hispanics were helping enslaved blacks escape to Mexico.
The Mexican government welcomed fugitive slaves.
Documents dating back beyond the 1800s here in the Galveston and Texas History Center that historians Samuel Collins III and Dr. Juan Galvan are showing me give a new outlook on the Underground Railroad, which most equate to the system that helped slaves escape north to freedom.
We often think about Canada, but enslaved people in Texas actually ran south to Mexico because Mexico had outlawed slavery.
Although not everyone describes the help Hispanics gave as work on the railroad.
because when you say Underground Railroad, that implies a network as sophisticated as the one to Canada.
But Dr. Galvan says research shows Hispanic abolitionists were well organized, as many came together to help thousands of enslaved blacks in Texas make it to freedom in Mexico.
There were many marriages between Mexican men and African American enslaved women.
Uh-oh, y'all, watch out now. Watch out, Dr. Galvin. Whoever the fuck he is, this is what he said. First off, let's cancel that myth that black folks was running down there and just being happy. Black folks were finding refuge all across this country. And what it really was is that we would go down there and set up shop and people wouldn't fuck with us. That's what it was with the Maroons. Okay, so a lot of black folks who went down there, they set up shop and they held shit down. And it wasn't that they were welcomed with open arms, it's that people knew better. That's what it is. That's what it's always been. Anywhere where slaves would take refuge, it's not because the greater community was welcoming them. It's not because folks loved them so much. It's because they knew better. And as a matter of fact, if folks loved them so much and they did so much for the black slaves, what's the condition of black folks in Latin America right now? How are the black folks in Mexico treated right now? How were the black folks treated in Mexico back then? Because remind you, there were black folks in Mexico during the same time that they said they welcomed all the slaves. So how were all of them being treated then and now if there was so much love? Yeah, don't get it twisted. And by the way, what the fuck does any of that have to do with Juneteenth? You notice how it started off with, we help free blacks? And then it turned into, well, Juneteenth is ours as well. Don't be surprised in a couple years if they try to say Juneteenth is a black and brown holiday. That's where shit like this starts, fam. Y'all know it starts off with some bullshit articles, some bullshit news segments, and they start planting the seeds. A couple years from now, they'll be saying, it's for all black, brown, and indigenous people, brother. That's why they do that. They only tell lies for the next 50 to 100 years. They don't tell lies for 5 minutes. They're not concerned about the next 5 minutes. They tell the lie because they got an 100-year plan. So when they start saying things like this, that's all so they can get Juneteenth 15, 20, 30, 40 years from now. That's how they do it. It'll be black and brown, it'll be Juneteenth and Cinco de Mayo. And there'll be a lot of Democratic shills out there saying, well, it is true, that did happen. The brown folks saved the black folks, and the Democrats saved everybody. You already know. They gonna try to hit you with the black and brown until there ain't no more black and it's just brown left. That's why they're always trying to blur the lines, but guess what? You can't blur the lines when someone sees clear, and we see clear as ever. Know that. So no, we don't go for that. We don't go for that at all, because we understand they don't have no love for us. They're only bringing this up so they can get in on our culture. Fam, we done went around the whole goddamn earth. We done went around the whole planet. And every single group, and we done provided receipts right here today, every single group has done this so they can get in on our culture. If you want to get in on reparations, you got to find the way through. The way through for a lot of these folks is Juneteenth. That's why we say there is an erasure. That's why we say they're all in cahoots, because they want to take what foundational black Americans have created and they either want to slide themselves in next to us, or they just want to completely replace us. Now, trying that, good motherfucking luck, because we too goddamn excellent. And us being excellent, we pull out receipts on folks so we know exactly how they feel. They can run around here all day long and never say how we're brothers until it's reparations time. We brothers, come home. They can run around here all day long and never say black and brown until they want us to come help them out with DeSantis kicking them out down in Florida. As a matter of fact, did y'all see that video of that chick talking about how black folks need to help the brown folks out because immigration is our problem, and she supports black women and how they saved the election and how it's our fault that Donald Trump got elected? All types of crazy shit. Did y'all see it? She put it up on TikTok, if I'm not mistaken, and then she hurry up and deleted it because foundational black Americans was giving her that work. They was tagging her, and I don't mean the photo. Listen to this right here, family. This chick is sitting here pleading for black folks to help them with that little June 1st thing they had. They had like a June 1st protest. They were saying how they weren't going to buy any products from the state of Florida. They was going to walk out on their jobs because Santos, San Diego, whatever the fuck his name is, he passed that bill punishing folks for hiring immigrants. Well, anyway, they took to the internet all day and was trying to get black folks to jump in on that. That's what they be trying to do, family. You got to know that. You got to check that out. They're always trying to come up with the W Savior. Y'all know how we're very familiar with the W Savior. That's how they try to come up with this fake unity. They always say, well, you know, those brown folks, they helped y'all too now. Those minorities helped y'all too now. You better show them some love because they've been here before in the past. We can't sit back and see anything where they've ever assisted us. So they got to make up these things from years ago and be like, man, y'all know them POCs was helping black folks. They loved y'all. Y'all would come on down and y'all would drink together and hang out together and they saved y'all from the W. See, the way they try to hustle us, they try to say that the W savior saves us from ourselves because we so bad. The missionaries got to come in and help them poor black folks. That's what it is. The W savior, he's always saving black folks from hurting ourselves, right? And then the POC savior, he comes and he saves us from supremacy. They're always trying to make it look like there's some minority that saved black folks from supremacy, as if we ever needed their goddamn help. First off, they subscribe to supremacy so goddamn much they couldn't help any fucking body. All right, you can't save someone from supremacy when your ass is a supremacist yourself, a Crayola supremacist. So they always do this thing where the POCs and the minorities have always historically helped us out. Can't nobody point to shit. We don't have to guess. We don't have to figure it out. We don't have to research. All we got to do is look around. And if you look around right now today, you'll see what it's always been. We build, they steal. They don't contribute to us, but they always got their hand out. Well, guess what? Keep on knocking, but you can't come in because this house says FBA only. And for the record, family, I was down in Florida on June 1st, and I personally bought every single thing I could find that was made in Florida. I got like 5 orange juices. I got a whole batch of oranges. I got strawberries. It didn't even fucking matter. If it was made in Florida, I bought it. And I ain't even drink the orange juice. I gave that shit away. But I bought it though. Yes, I did. Well, anyway, this chick was on there pleading that we help them out. So this is that whole, we helped you all with Juneteenth as well, didn't we? We saved you guys. Juneteenth is really a black and brown. If it's so black and brown, then how come the black folks never got no love? Listen.
I want to talk to my black and brown brothers and sisters. The time has come for us to come together. The time has come for us to unite. This issue in Florida with immigration is another step.
If it's so black and brown, then how come the black folks never got no love?
But lest we not forget that the black community has its own Uncle Toms. You have one of the most powerful black Uncle Toms in the Supreme Court right now, literally making dog whistles for Republicans to attack marriages, no-fault divorces, gay marriages, contraceptives for women. Tim Scott, another black congressman, was literally the one person, one of the main players in not getting the George Floyd Act passed. So we can split hairs and point fingers on which group has done what. You guys are no angels yourselves and what you've stood with Republicans.
Y'all caught that? She big mad, ain't she? She mad as fuck that we didn't want to support that June 1st. Where's all that blacks and browns? Where's all that we helped y'all with Juneteenth? Where all that at? That was all that. I call on my black and brown brothers and sisters to come help us. That's what that was. The second clip I played you, that was her after we didn't do shit. That was her after we sat that motherfucker out. Let me tell you something. We sat out your June 1st protest the same way you sat out the civil rights era, the same way you sat out Jordan Davis, Mike Brown, Cyrus Belton, Corinne Gaines. Hey, all we did is what you've been doing the whole time. We sat that motherfucker out, and I'll sit out the next one. And I'll go down there and buy the whole goddamn store orange juice. I'll be popping orange juice like champagne in that bitch. Trust me. I'll have an orange juice giveaway. So don't be mad when we sit things out, because y'all sat things out. And we ain't running around here trying to take all that goddamn credit either. So notice how she starts saying, black folks, you guys have Uncle Toms. Then she tried to do the Republican shame. Y'all know anytime somebody tries to shame us about Republicans, oh, that's straight coming from the dominant society. That's some Democratic shield shit all day long. Yes. Now, her whole community was putting Donald Trump and them in office. But she says, black folks, you guys are just as bad as voting for Republicans too. Like it's a crime and shit. That's that whole, y'all gonna vote for Republicans? That's that you ain't black. That's just the POC version. That's the black and brown no elition version of it. But she doesn't stop there. Immediately after she starts saying that, then she starts saying, and I support black women too. Black women, I support you for saving the elections. Listen to this. Watch her go all over the place with her FBA hate, just really deep down inside mad that all that bullshit about them helping us out, saving us, Juneteenth, black and brown no elition, it is what it has always been, a goddamn lie. And this generation of the black grassroots are the first ones to expose it for exactly what it is.
Republicans. Now trust me, I have been eternally grateful for black women. I have talked about it numerous times in previous videos when they started their Black Girl Follow train. I am immensely grateful for them saving our democracy along with Gen Z. I don't want us to lose focus in all these issues as DeSantis and the Republicans are gearing toward attacking us. I'm foreseeing the attack on all of us. This is why I'm calling for the unification. We need this. We've been needed this.
No, you need this. Your community needs this because y'all can't get your own shit popping, so you're trying to borrow some of that FBA muscle, just like the rest of the world does. And the fact that we got our arms folded, our legs up, and we drinking some good ass Florida orange juice and not giving a fuck, that's pissing you off to the point where you on the internet damn near crying, but FBAs is dragging your ass. We shoot, we score. So yes, that's another group that's in there trying to do all these backdoor tactics and avenues, but we ain't going for that, we ain't having that, and we ain't fucking with that. Let it be known. But it don't stop there. You can talk about countries, nations, the diaspora, the minorities, and how they've been trying to get in on Juneteenth and our reparations claim. But fam, there's a whole nother group, and they got the alphabet in their name. They got Skittles all through it, and they've been trying to get all of Juneteenth. Can you believe that they have connected the Skittles with the reparations claim? They have connected the Skittles with the lineage, and they have connected the Skittles with Juneteenth. Yes, they have. And mind you, it just so happens to be during their month. Yeah, Juneteenth goes on during Skittles Pride. Yup, yeah it does. And they're taking the Juneteenth flag and the Black Power fist, and they making them in rainbows, all tie-dye. Yes, the same way they did with Tupac. How we were speaking about Tupac earlier and how they're taking his images and they changing it to all these different rainbows. That's what they're doing with the Juneteenth flag. They're taking the Juneteenth flag and they're co-opting that with a big ass Skittle sign on it. Yes, they are. And they running around here having whole marches, parades, protests, the whole 10. Talking about Juneteenth and their community and how it all goes hand in hand. Pull up, family. Another motherfucking receipt. Listen.
And in observance of Juneteenth and Pride, the LGBTQ Center of Southern Nevada is hosting a festival to celebrate the community. The center explains it's important to recognize people who claim different identities.
So being able to celebrate Juneteenth and Pride Month is a way to
Told you.
the many different facets of identities that people hold.
The event features local Black and LGBTQ businesses and creatives. Night 1 wrapped up at 10, but festivities start up again tomorrow night at 6 p.m.
It don't stop. No, we got a whole nother one. Yes, we do. They said they're combining the two of them. They gonna put Skittles with Juneteenth. They trying to make that shit Skittles-teenth. Have a whole parade and cover everything in a rainbow. Yes, listen to this lady right here, trying to break it down all categorical and say how it's all the same. Listen.
Hi, hello. So, Juneteenth is Freedom Day, a day solely for Black people that represents the beginning of an era out of shackles. And even though it is a day for celebration, it was also the beginning of a new fight, or really a continuation of it, just in a different form. Juneteenth is also in the middle of Pride Month. Pride, as the history goes, started with a riot. It started out of Stonewall, where police tried to destroy queer joy. It became the biggest spark to a now yearly tradition of pride parades, protests, and awareness. So I find it interesting how Juneteenth is during Pride Month and there's almost no acknowledgement of how those intersect.
Whoa, y'all heard that? Y'all heard that right there. She said it is during their month and she is surprised that no one talks about how they intersect. Basically, no one is saying how they can get in on it. Listen.
I mean, is that Pride and Black history go hand in hand.
Whoa, gotta stop that again. Their history and Black history go hand in hand. You just heard that first news report where they were at an actual rally for it. Now you hear this person breaking it down and saying that y'all history, my history, our history goes hand in hand with her community. Damn, you know the co-opting is real when the Juneteenth flag and the Black Power fist come in 12 different colors.
Non-binary people, Black gay and lesbian people, Black bisexual people, Black pansexual people, Black ace people, all Black lives matter. For as long as Black people have existed, Black LGBT people have existed.
Hell no. God damn. So let's co-op continents, co-op countries, co-op nations, political parties, political affiliations, skittles, and no elisions. All of them people with their eyes on Juneteenth. That's something. Ain't it crazy how a foundational Black American holiday can have the whole world reaching, grabbing, trying to take. Just us, just FBA, the same FBA. Motherfuckers always got some smofo. They always hating on us. They always got some sly, slick shit to say. But I guarantee you, when it come down to what we doing, they all want a piece of it, and we done laid it all out on the table before we even got to the dominant society. So we gonna skip from that nation. We gonna skip from the diaspora. We gonna skip over that group, Skittles, all that shit, and we gonna come right back now to the W society. Let's talk about how they responded. Because you're seeing a whole lot of them saying, well, what should we do on Juneteenth? Can we celebrate? Is it just for blacks? I had nothing to do with slavery. The same type of excuses they use when they get upset about reparations, they're saying the same exact thing when it comes to Juneteenth. But like we said, they play both sides. So I'm gonna play some clips of them playing both sides. You're gonna have the first one who's gonna be the one who's mad. That's gonna be the bad cop. And then I'm going to play one with someone being the good cop. And they're going to be saying, well, you know, we probably shouldn't do it. We should fight systematic supremacy so we can help out our black bros and sisters. You're going to see both sides, but guarantee you, no matter when they play overt, covert, good cop, bad cop, left or right, up or down, east or west, north or south, they're all operating off of anti-blackness, and everything else is just window dressing. So listen right here to how they're playing both sides of the argument, and you're going to see that both sides of the argument is just supremacy in disguise. Up first, the bad cop.
Someone on YouTube just asked, why is it you white people feel entitled to celebrate Juneteenth? Why does it have to be about you? You know, on Father's Day, do you think mothers get all pissed off because Father's Day isn't about them? Or fathers on Mother's Day? Allow me to explain the difference. Juneteenth is not Black People Day. We do not celebrate Black people on Juneteenth. What we celebrate is the freeing of Black slaves. So if you, who were never a slave, can nevertheless celebrate the freeing of slaves, because people who looked like you were slaves once, then I guess I, who have never freed a slave, can also celebrate the freeing of slaves because people who looked like me freed the slaves. Happy Juneteenth, y'all.
He was mad as fuck, wasn't he? Juneteenth. We can celebrate on Juneteenth. How come y'all can celebrate Juneteenth? See, that's the bad cop. That's the guy who's going to come out here and he's going to make the same exact argument they always try to make with reparations. Notice how their anti-reparations arguments is the same thing they do when it comes to anti-Juneteenth. Hell, it's anti-anything we do. But it's always, I didn't do it. It was a long time ago. That was yesterday. Yesterday that happened. It had nothing to do with me on Juneteenth. See, he's sitting there getting mad because he's getting told no. And what do I always say, family? They don't have a problem with doing what they do. They got a problem with getting told no. Anytime a foundational Black American wants to piss somebody off, say no. N-O. If you tell a motherfucker no, they go into a whirlwind because they're not used to Black folks talking to them like that. We do. So that's why they sit there and get mad. He's so mad that he had to go get on the internet and make a whole fucking speech about it. And he plays that side of the fence. And they're always going to rebuttal that with another W who plays the good cop. So that's what keeps Black folks confused. They straddle the fence. See, when you understand and you frame it that you have villains and villains, then you understand the way the game is played. You operate very smoothly. But for these Black folks who think you have to have a hero to every villain, that's why they send out the good cop. And the good cop, they're going to come out and say a bunch of things that are powerless, but not powerful. They're masters of saying a whole bunch of nothing. They'll talk for an hour straight and ain't made one goddamn point because that was their whole agenda, to say nothing. And have Black folks walking away clapping their hands saying, man, Master said some good stuff now. Master ain't said shit. Master basically told you to sit still and he'll be back. And Black folks was sitting still and Master never came back for 60 years, once again, until we showed up. and then we put things in motion. So they'll come out and say a bunch of ambiguous, abstract terms that don't mean nothing. Equality, justice, Black Lives Matter, but they won't ever tell you how to actually achieve anything. That's the stop as far as they're gonna go. They'll get to the cliff and look over, but they ain't gonna go across it. You know why? It's because they know that they can stall you with a bunch of bullshit terms. That's why we have gotten rid of all those terms. The first thing we did in this generation is that we got rid of all the bullshit vernacular. Any word that don't mean nothing, we got rid of it. Minority, POC, African American, yes we can, can't we all get along, all lives matter, we got that shit out the fucking paint. Once we removed all that and replaced it with real terms, real true empowerment terms, we got things done. So every time they pull out the good cop or the bad cop or the in-between cop to fool us, we don't fall for it because we know what it looks like. So they got the bad cop, and y'all seen him. And by the way, fam, he's just mad because he found out that his cousin's really his wife and he's down to his last jar of mayo. So happy Juneteenth to you, Jethro. And after every bad cop, Jethro, they usually send in the good cop, Karen. And she comes in and she says a bunch of things like, I support blacks and blacks are good and I'm down with you. But she won't ever say anything significant. Listen.
Hey everyone, Patricia here with Mass Liberation Arizona. Let's take a minute to talk about what Juneteenth is not. Juneteenth is not for white people. It is not our holiday. It's not for us to celebrate. 2 years after the Civil War ended, white people had to be forced to free the human beings they enslaved and still viewed as personal property. So this Juneteenth, don't make a public spectacle of black suffering or center yourself in whiteness.
Whoa, first off, notice how her and the bad cop are on 2 different pages? They're not on 2 different pages by accident. They're purposely on 2 different pages so they can confuse you. One plays that side of the fence, the other plays that side of the fence, and we call that playing both sides of the argument. Proceed.
Instead, listen to and support black abolitionist leaders.
Hold on, I'm sorry. Fam, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to stop that, but I got to. Did she say listen to and support black abolitionist leaders? Abolitionist leader? Who the fuck knows an abolitionist leader? Did she just literally open her mouth, her mayo mouth, and say, listen and support black abolitionists? Who the fuck are they? This shows you how out of touch and how much babbling she's doing. She's literally talking about abolitionist leaders like this is 1862. She might as well just said, go out and support the Lone Ranger and ride horseback carriage all the way to the Confederacy and the Union. You know you babbling when you say some shit like that. Hell to the no. And then on top of that, to make that even more fucked up, isn't that just like when someone says, I'm down with the blacks and I like to raise the roof? This motherfucker saying shit that has been outdated for years. Normally, they say some shit that's outdated for like 20 years. This motherfucker says some shit that's been outdated for 200 years. Black abolitionists. But that's what you get when you're dealing with someone playing good cop. Didn't I say they're not there to say any words of significance? They're there just to babble and say a bunch of vague, ambiguous terms, whether that is equality, freedom, justice, or in her case, black abolitionists of the 1800s. Damn.
The real work of abolition continues today, 156 years after the first Juneteenth. So let's stay in our lane and recommit to the ways we can tangibly contribute to the movement for black liberation.
Okay, we can stay in our lane and contribute to black liberation, but she ain't said a goddamn thing on how to do that. She says, well, you know, we can help and support black folks, but she didn't say any bill, any policy, or any tangible that will benefit black folks. So basically, she did what the fuck I said. She was babbling. And they'll break it down. Y'all ever notice that? They'll throw out all these big ass words. Well, the cumulative effect on the black distribution has a direct effect on the black community's social economic standings. And then you cut them off and say, yeah, fuck all that. What about reparations? And then they'll freeze. She'll be like, well, geez, I never really thought about reparations. That's a great question, Jerome. I don't know about reparations, but I do know about abolitionists and meth pipes. If you know about abolitionists from the 1800s, but you don't know about FBA reparations in the 2000s, then you need to sit your ass down. Black Alpha, Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed, family. I appreciate y'all for pulling into the Black Alpha Network. You guys are the family, and I love y'all with the passion, as I always will, and I will always say it on every single episode. There's nothing better than getting with the family and rocking out, and that's what we do every single week, and we're going to continue to do it. You know, things get live, and we get live right along with it. Shit get real, we get real right along with it, because we are the realest. When I say certified honey, I mean all of us together, because that's all it takes to change the world. As you see right now, it don't take every single black person to be on code for us to do what we doing. Just like it didn't take every black person during slavery to get free. Just like it didn't take every black person during Reconstruction to reconstruct. We do what we do based on the love, the unity, and the skills. We got talent. We got a whole lot of talent. And when you put all my certified sisters in the same building, shit get done. You put all my certified brothers in the same building, shit get done. And when you put us all together as a collective, we win. And that's all we've been doing. So they can come out here and try to hijack, co-opt everything we do. We know they're going to try. But also, they know that they're going to fail. Because every time that we're on code, we win. The code is undefeated. And right now, we're all on code. So you guys make sure you subscribe to the Black Alpha Network. Make sure y'all tap in every single Tuesday at 8 o'clock. And just follow everything we doing. Follow me on Instagram, Black Alpha Net W1. Follow me on Twitter, Black Alpha Net W1. And obviously, I'm everywhere where my people are. If a foundational black American person is getting railroaded and they're trying to send them to jail unjustly, I'm there. If a foundational black American is homeless, ain't got nothing to eat, I'm gonna take the money out my pocket, I'm gonna take the nearest plate of food I can get and give it to him. And if a foundational black American child got a lemonade stand, I'm gonna buy 4 cups with no ice. It ain't even got to be cold. I'm still going to do it because I'm always going to support my people, because we are of the people. That goes for all of us all the time. So as I wrap this episode up, I want to leave y'all with one thing. I want you to have good peace of mind. I want you to be healthy, and I want you to get a lot of money and stay happy. As long as you're smiling, you always winning, family. And as Huey P. Newton says, we are one tonight. Let us be one in the future. Power to the people. And as Black Alpha 6 always says, remember that black is beautiful, and beautiful is always black. One love.